Music box is back up. Yes. Awesome. Alright, picking up from where we last left off. Located close to the shores of Lake Zarovich, the town of Valakai lies in a safe haven against the evil of the Svalich woods, if not Strahd himself. You have spent the better part of a day here, quickly realizing that there is no happiness, only false hope. Baron Vargas Valakovich, the town's burgomaster, has deluded himself into believing that hope and happiness are the keys to Valakai's salvation. If he can make everyone in Valakai happy, the burgomaster thinks that the town will somehow escape Strahd's grasp and return to the forgotten world whence it came. Much to his people's chagrin, he stages one festival after the other to bolster the spirits of the townsfolk, but most Valakians consider these festivals to be pointless, meaningless affairs, more likely to incur Strahd's wrath than to provide any hope for the future. His next event, which the Burgomeister has dubbed the Festival of the Blazing Sun, is soon to get underway. Weather-worn garlands from previous festivals still hang from the eaves of Valakai's buildings, and work has begun on a large wicker sun to be set ablaze in the town square on the day of the festival. In the days leading up to the festival, Baron Volakovich has begun arresting local malcontents and throwing them into stocks so that his efforts aren't ruined by those little of hope and faith. Our story continues as we follow our heroes, who have succeeded this night in retrieving the hallowed bones of Saint Andrew. Father Lucian, the local high priest, has begun preparations to consecrate and hallow the church using the bones, so that evil may not step within the confines of the church. The fate of the culprit behind the theft of the bones, Henrik the coffin maker, rests in your hands. For the time being, he was left behind in the confines of his own destitute workshop. For you have greater things to worry about now. Your recent travel companion, the young lady Irina Kalyana, has disappeared following your encounter with a vampire spawn and her undead underlings in the coffin maker's loft. You sought shelter for the night at the Blue Water Inn, wishing to rest for the night. Samson engaged in research into hags. You also had a conversation with a local bard and ringmaster Octavio, who, in turn, handed you a journal of one of Morgantha's many victims, in hopes it will help you with your mission to retrieve Irina from the Covenant's clutches. With that being said, what do you wish to do?
So, it's still the middle of the night, right?
It is an hour before midnight, yes.
So, I will pull out the journal that I had gotten and go over and say, so some of the research that I was able to find on hags talked about them being resistant to things that are not magical in nature or silvered. We may need to look into getting some of that if we want to have any hope at taking out Morgantha as she arrives tomorrow evening. The other thing I got is this notebook, which seems to talk about some items that the hag have that may be the source of some of their power. A stone and a bag. Might want to try and get those off of her if we fight. Although it does warn that if she's not alone, it will be substantially harder. Hags are dramatically more powerful when they are together. And they are not kind. They are very intelligent. So we should take great care with that. But as it stands, we're all probably fairly worn out. Not sure what else we can do before resting that will not result in us our untimely demise.
Hmm. Will you have any plan on how we could take the bag and the stone from the hag?
Same way I took the locket. And I will take some piece of food on the table and just levitate it with Mage Hand and start kind of spinning it around. Hopefully. No clue if it'll actually work, but. And I'm actually going to try and Mage Hand Aya's necklace and just kind of raise it slightly. I need to double check if Mage Hand supports that.
It does. Being a physical vessel, it begins to lift inch by inch off Aya's clavicle.
And then I'll release and let it drop back down. Hopefully that works if we can get it from Stell. That being said, we should definitely look into getting some weapons that will have more effect on the hags than ours did last time.
Father Lucian said that he could help us with that.
Yes, he could silver them potentially, or potentially even bless them and consecrate them. I think we could potentially do that either now or let Father Lucian finish his hallowing of the church and see him at some point in the morning.
I think we should probably rest now, and we could leave him the weapons in the morning while we investigate the town.
Seems reasonable. I know I will not be silvering my weapons, for I deal primarily with my magic. I barely use my hammer. But so might be worth doing to at least have something. So I suppose I will say, well, at this point we need to rest, I think. Novark, how's Connell doing?
Seems
Connell
fine.
in reasonable shape? That's good.
Novark, have you been to this inn before? No. A brief description of what you see kind of sitting around as you approach the grey edifice of this sort of well-kept building. Upon entering, you were informed that Connell and other animals, be they beasts of burdens or companions, are not allowed within the confines of the inn. The owners of the inn are afraid that a wolf, even a tamed one, might frighten and make anxious the various crows and ravens that perch about the entire confines of this building. As for the tap room itself, looking around, you walk past a series of pegs by the door upon which damp cloaks were hanging. The tavern's packed with tables and chairs with narrow paths meandering between them. There's a bar that stretches along one wall under a balcony that you can see above can be reached by a wooden staircase that hugs the north wall. Another balcony overhangs an entrance to the east, and all the windows here are fitted with these thick shutters and crossbars. Lanterns hanging above the bar and resting on table bathe the entire room in this dull orange light that casts shadow upon the walls, most of which are adorned with these wolf heads mounted on wooden plaques all around. Being a ranger, a hunter of the wilds, you would recognize the fellows sitting across from you, the two wild-looking men of yonder, who too are adorned with hunting equipment. There's like a bear trap hanging off one man's thigh. There's a wicked-looking, large, heavy crossbow on the back of another, and the other one has like a bow as a weapon that has like notches upon it, probably to like don't count, like a kill count or something like that. They look grizzled, and human versions of you in a kind of sort of way. Other than that, a quick worth mentioning detail is the bar seems to be run by a woman with raven black hair and streaks of gray in her. She seems to be like about middle aged, dressed in fine, noble-ish clothing, aristocratic, of green shade, and a few raven feathers decorating her hair. Her two sons, Brom and Bray, scutter underfoot, kind of delivering plates from the kitchen or just being children. And the father works the kitchen. Urin, a hefty, bulky man with a thick beard and equally graying hair, and a scar on his left eye. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them, but just a little immersion for your sake of where you're at. This has been the place where the party's been staying for the past night.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
With that in mind, if you guys wish to discuss anything else, you may, but if not, room and board is provided as usual, while the tavern is running low on wine. Food is still offered. Rooms are still cheap for copper pieces each, available upstairs should you wish to rest for the night.
Okay. I want to approach to the innkeeper.
Sure. Manning the bar, Danica Marchkov. She tends to the orders of the few patrons this night. Yeah, nods to you. How can I help?
Okay. Beautiful feathers in your hair.
Thanks.
I noticed that this place is full of crowds, especially your inn. What is that? Do you feed them? Or there's a special connection with you and them?
So sometimes we feed them. I mean, mostly they find their own source of food. We provide shelter to all matter of the living, so to speak, in this land, both human and animal. Our stable is in the back, and that's where they usually perch, and they provide fine entertainment for my two little boys, so I see no harm in keeping them about. I mean, they are kind creatures, clever creatures, harmless.
You're too clever, I would say.
Perhaps. Cleverer than some men, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. There was one that was traveling with a friend of ours. The crow seems like it was looking for her to help us. Do you know of anyone that could communicate that to a crow?
It's unheard of. It's not unheard of, rather, that ravens often serve as omens of fortune, be it woe or will. But it's not out of the question that perhaps somebody out there is watching your backs.
Okay, thank you.
All I can say is continue doing good, and you might just get to meet them.
Can I see if she... I mean, I want to check her face to see if she's recalling a name or something like that. I mean...
You can go ahead and roll insight just to see if you detect any oddities. But passively, she seems genuine, kind, and just glad to see that you are back. Most heroes that come to her tavern either vanish or are found in the ditch.
Okay.
You note that all the while she's talking to you, she seems to be one of her hands is occupied beneath the bar and just kind of leaning and looking down. You can see a feathered creature beneath the bar that she's just petting. One of the birds beneath the bar.
Okay. I'm gonna give her a copper. Here, so you can give him some more food. And I'm going to return to my table.
They don't eat coppers, but sure. Just feeds them the coin.
Yeah, they like shiny things.
Oh, sort of.
By the way, a picture, I'm not sure if we were handed this before, but here's the whole family, a nice little family portrait, if you need like a visual of what they look like.
Oh, nice.
I like how even the boys are armed. Like a little dagger, like the little shit's gonna stab your knees or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And slightly, or maybe more than slightly, grayed hair in even the kids.
Yeah, it seems to be like a family trait of one way or another. Yep.
Yeah. I suppose one question I'll ask out of curiosity, has my new appearance drawn lots of attention or
Barovians
not?
are wary passively, especially of strangers, especially of people who look weird like Novark. Lucians showed a certain understanding, knowing that you are still you despite your looks. But yeah, you do catch a few like wary looks now and then, especially when you stepped into the inn. But from passive knowledge of you remembering that vampires cannot enter buildings unless they're invited to by the original owners every single time, when you step through the threshold, some of those like the wary looks not disappear, but they seem to lax at least a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you did put efforts into like wrapping your hand and hiding the source of the paleness, but
The
like
runes of. I still look bad.
yeah, you have like a little shadow under your eyes, as if exhausted. You're still kind of you feel queasy from being resurrected because being brought to life by itself is draining.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not like you're walking around like all zombie like with your flesh like melting off and shit. Like you look pale and that earns you a few wary looks. But
Yes,
that's about it. Yeah.
I am many shades paler than I was.
Yes.
And if someone is particularly observant, they would notice that there's probably something.
You look sick more than you look like a source of a threat.
Yeah.
Okay. Samson.
So yeah. Yes.
I just noticed in the other table there are the hunters.
Yes.
Last time we shot, they said that they could help us tracking if we pay them. If we go after Irina, I think it will be wise to get their help.
It might very well be worth it. Although
I
I
don't know
suppose
what
the question. I suppose we could probably head up to our rooms before we discuss further. Figure out. So I will walk over to the bar and I will go ahead and get and pay for our rooms.
Sure. In terms of lodging, I'll let you know in retrospect how much it costs. I had it here.
Okay.
So, well, a bed for a night costs 1 electrum piece for each person, so 5 silvers.
Okay.
Food is provided with your lodging.
Yeah.
Unless you want anything extra.
I go ahead and give a gold piece. Will they provide change, or I won't directly ask for change? I'm going to hand over a gold piece.
Yeah, gold piece will get you to bed. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So actually, in that case, I'll go ahead and do 2 gold pieces to get us all rooms.
Your rooms are already made for you upstairs. I made sure that nobody has entered the rooms until you remove your possessions. If you left any, we don't get that many patrons buying beds nowadays. Only the one. She nods to Octavio in the corner. But as always, we appreciate your patronage, and I'll see you that breakfast is served in the morning. Again, thank you. She takes 2 coins and
Thank you.
hands them to the little raven fella who takes them in his mouth and flutters toward the kitchen. You see the raven land on the shoulder of Urwin, who seems he has like a red face working in the kitchen. Land on his shoulder, and Urwin, without even looking, just kind of puts his palm up, and Raven drops 2 coins, and he grabs him in his fist and puts him into like a pouch and continues working, and the raven flutters out of view.
Very clever bird you've got there.
They're very helpful. We, outside of family, don't even need staff.
Yes. Thank you. And I will go ahead and make my way back to the table. I've got all the rooms. Let's head on up. And I will head up towards our room.
Sure. So, as a general reminder, as you make your way up those stairs, Danica just turns and says, actually, the eastern stairs, those are our quarters. It's a common mistake. Trust me, my husband built this place, and I don't know what he was thinking. She points you toward the stairs. You can see through the windows are over yonder, and I can go ahead, unless anybody wishes to stay in the tap room. I'll take you all up there.
Yeah, I'm going upstairs.
Novak?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So here's the outside. Oops, I'm having trouble with you, Novak, for some reason. There you are. Question: when I drag your tokens, do you like drag across the map and through rooms, or do you like teleport?
Teleport.
I just teleported.
Cool. Good. Because I had an issue before where the map would reveal itself because it would glitch because the tokens would go from A to B. Are you leaving Connell outside somewhere in work? What's going on with that?
Well, would they be able to get him in his room?
You can sneak him in.
Yeah, screw it. Let's try and
Animals
get
are
him,
not
see
allowed
if
in the inn, but like,
Yeah.
you know.
Didn't say anything about the room.
Fair enough. All right. In that case, again, I'm just gonna read brief descriptions for a second of Novak, who's never been here before. Heading up, there's a wooden staircase to the north that descends 15 feet to a landing. There's a. Am I reading this right? Yes. Never mind. I got it wrong. Anyway, you ascend upstairs. I'll just improvise. There's like a wooden balcony that stretches the full length of the tap room, enclosed by this wooden railing that's carved with raven motifs. Seems that ravens are really a prominent theme around this. In the tap rooms, many lanterns illuminate the rafters and cast like this ominous shadows on the peaked ceiling. You are about 15 feet up. To those of you who head upstairs over yonder, there are ravens perched here and there on the railing. Some of them are on the rafters as well, making little nests. All of them are all watching the happenings of what's going on down. Your rooms, I'm going to open doors and just kind of leave them open, and we'll say if you close them, you close them. Are free to choose. You can choose which beds you are at. You effectively purchased 4 beds. Yeah. In
Yep.
one, yeah.
So let's all let's gather in one of them and chat for about
Sure.
what
There
how
are
we
4
went
beds
to the
here.
hunters.
There are four plain beds with straw mattress lined at the entire north wall of the room that you guys just entered. It is well lit. Each bed comes with like matching foot lockers to store clothes or other belongings of yours. A table and 4 chairs occupy the corner of the from the door. There's an oil lamp here that's provided, resting on the table, that casts a bright yellow flame. Seems to be full of oil and filled nightly. The door to this room can be locked from the inside if you so wish. And upon purchasing, actually, I forgot to mention, Danica did give each of you a set of keys to this door.
Okay.
The innkeepers carry spare keys. You saw them hanging at their necks and stuff, or like on their key rings. But gives you privacy as well. Checking the foot lockers, if any of you do, they're open and they're empty unless any of you guys left things here from last time, which I don't remember.
No,
I
I don't
did
think
not.
anyone.
You find Savra's underwear.
Sabra didn't sleep here.
Yeah, sorry, that it's sleep here. Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
but essentially, I'm gonna say with that 2 gold, you purchased this entire room. Let's say that. Yeah.
Yep.
Coolio.
Okay. So I like your idea about hiring the trackers for our hunt down to try and find Irina, although realistically, we know where she's going to be. Unless we give chase right now, and even so, I doubt it'll be. I would expect she'd still make it there. She's going to be at Strahd's castle.
We don't have a map, right?
You do have a map.
We do. We have a map. We have two maps. We like one of those maps much more than the other one because one of those was hand drawn and so not to scale.
I got the best map as we were gonna use for the entirety of the campaign. We're gonna say this is the map you got from the Vistani in the camp, and for the sake of exploration and interest, you. Do I have the map handout? I don't know if I got it from the other campaign actually.
And I think there was a handout.
But anyways, that's
see.
that's the map right now. Every place you guys visited and places of interest are kind of revealed as you gather information about places that will be revealing itself more. I can get the other map, but I'm not gonna lie. The other map was not very accurate in terms of distance and like just general locations. So
Yeah.
hopefully this will do.
Okay. I was trying to see the distance from here to Ravenloft, but
To Ravenloft, by road.
yeah, by road.
If you follow the road and you're going there, it's about 10 miles.
10 miles. Yeah, less than one day. Yeah,
Unless we
there.
charge right now, that's what she'll be. The problem is, I think we would remember, right? Savara talked about the hunters not wanting to go after vampires. Strahd. I would assume that would be substantially more if we told them what we were going after than we can really afford. And I would be reluctant to lie to allies that would be bringing with us. That feels like that would come back to bite us rather hard.
I think more than that is like we will be putting them in danger, and it will be only fair that they knew the stakes. Yeah, and Irina must be there already. So, you're right, Samson. So, do you think that it's better we prepare ourselves for Morganta?
I think Morgantha is happening tonight or tomorrow night, most likely, or at least that's our understanding right now. So we need to do something. I suppose we could just have Henrik hide out in the church. We could stand by and guard the church if things go wrong, and then just have her fail to find him. Perhaps she'll give up, although hags are intelligent and cruel creatures. I somehow don't think that she will just give up. The problem is I'm concerned just the three, I suppose four, if we count this guy, and I'll give Connell a light pet, go against her. I don't know how we'll do.
Maybe we should talk to the hunters, or tomorrow, if we'll get like an audience with the Baron, maybe he could help.
Yes.
In the end, we need to pick her face more carefully.
Yes. We need to be very careful. Again, the research shows this, the hags have a couple items which is a source of at least some of their powers. So we can get those off of them. It might even the odds. The question is, how badly will we suffer before we can do that? And if it's more than one, we just run. We have no chance. Not as we are right now, not without additional allies.
But are you okay leaving Hendrix behind?
We could remove Hendrik to another location.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't feel at ease leaving him to a pretty awful fate.
Yes, the hags would be less than kind. So I suppose really our best hope is that we can get some sort of ally with the hag, or to fight the hag, I should say. Perhaps the mayor or his guards would be opposed to a being that strikes these deals and tries to weaken his town. Might be able to provide some support.
Sounds like a wise decision, honestly.
Yeah, we could talk to the hunters and ask them if they would want to. But it's not so much tracking as it is combat
Hunting.
yes, the surprise attack might be useful.
What do you think, Novak?
Sorry?
Yes.
What do you think that we should do? I honestly still don't really know what the hell is going on. I've been here yet a day. Yeah, I've had it explained to me, but most of the things you are talking about are still pretty, I guess you could say, foreign to me. So, right now, I'm along for the ride. I'm here to help.
Novark, you catch behind your shoulder, to your left, one of the ravens has cut itself closer and closer to almost turn its head and just sort of like eavesdropping on conversation, all the while maintaining its eye on your wolf who has snuck into the room, keeping low as he made his way past the railing. It's hopped its way about 5-7 feet away from you guys, all the while turning its head, listening. There's a very non-animal way to its behavior. It's very odd. You've seen ravens. This is weird.
Yeah, he's just looking at it. If he was to approach it, would it move?
If you don't move, they can't see us.
A quick question. Is there if I look out near the raven, is there anything small and kind of debris-like on the ground, or has it been relatively well swept and clean?
This if you're looking for like wood chips or anything, this inn has been well swept and well maintained by both Danica and Erwin.
Okay.
Can you see any markings on the raven?
Yes. Looking for the markings, you can see just under its wing is a streak of blue. If it were to like lift its wings into a flutter, all its underside will be like blue, as if dyed, almost like a peak-like bright shimmering glue.
If I try and recall back, how close does it look to the one that was at the coffin makers?
I mean, it's hard to tell ravens apart, but it looks almost identical, yes. The markings are the same. This is all like interlinked. It seems that somebody out there is watching their backs, or tries to.
Well,
guys, also, I don't know if this was missed. I was listening in, and tell me if this is meta, but maybe I just didn't deliver information correctly. You went to the coffin makers. Henrik told you that Morgantha was harassing him and that she put undead vigils to watch him. Irene disappeared after your encounter with Vigils, they're gone too. Is it reasonable to assume that Irina is not in Castle Ravenloft, but she's in fact with Morgantha?
Oh.
Because I really don't want everybody to die, so I'm just gonna say that off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I understood that.
Your
On
characters
her
are
way.
not dumb. They'll be able to put two and two together to the point where, like, they were Morgantha's minions rather than, like, Strahd.
Ah,
Morgantha
Okay,
answers
okay.
to Strahd, those minions answer to Morgantha. Chain of command concept.
Our characters are more smart than us, okay?
Right, I'm gonna say that it's obvious enough where you don't have to roll it and you would know. I just don't want you guys to, like, venture to Castle Ravenloft and, like, immediately die.
No, that's why I was doing, like, the road calculations, because if we can get before they get to Ravenloft, there is a chance. If
Whether
they get
they made
there,
it to Ravenloft by this point is impossible to tell because, you know, you have no scrying or ways of knowing, but
yeah.
there is hope. At least there's a breadcrumb trail that I hope I delivered correctly last session, but if I haven't, well, there it is.
Okay.
yeah. So, I suppose then we should rest and head out relatively quickly and try and give chase? Or considering we school that a vampire was more than we could handle.
We're highly doubt that those things sleep. The amount of distance they'll travel within the time that we sleep we will not be able to catch up.
Unless we knew unless they were going to, because we know where Morgantha's base is.
The mill.
Is a mill?
The mill.
Okay.
But yes, that's where the other two hags were. And as we found in research, hags come in groups of 3.
Granny, back in the Village of Brovik, did mention to us that
Yes,
she
that
ventures between the town and the mill kind of thing. So
yeah.
whether that's
Well,
their
we
main.
face the issue of facing these hags. We also face the issue of those fucking things that just tore us to shred. So
Yes.
right now, I know you are all for saving us, lassie, but right now,
If we win, we die.
yeah, we'll die.
Only if we fight. If we try to grab Irina and run, we may have a chance. Maybe getting some horses wouldn't be a bad idea.
Aren't horses scarce here?
Only horses are with the Sani. At least that's what we've seen. That's the only place we've seen them so far, and Savra was fairly insistent upon a horse and denied, despite some rather excessive offers of gold. I highly doubt they would be willing to part with horses.
But maybe the Baron has different thought about things. He's the mayor of the town.
Yes, but well, the other thing we can certainly do that may help us is we could get our weapons enhanced to some extent. Because I think I had seen that they were recovering from and not as affected by your weapons as normal. So if we get them somehow better, that might give us a little bit of an edge. It won't be much, but it's something.
So, should we go to sleep and head out early morning?
The thing I look at is we need to sleep before any encounter we have with them. If we do it now versus later, now lets us get out quicker. It means less time until we get to where they are. So probably sleep now and deal with stuff. By the way, question. Would I know at this point that I need less sleep than normal, or is
Yeah,
that...
you innately feel more awake than you have before. You don't even need
Yeah.
sleep per se. You can't sleep. If you try,
Yes.
even if you are affected by exhaustion, sleep does not take you. Instead, you kind of descend into this still corpse-like, the stillness of contemplation.
Hibernation mode, or meditation
Whatever
mode.
Samson wants to do, that's not sleep, essentially.
Yeah.
You can be put to sleep. You would know.
Yeah. So I, due to this, and I'll kind of just point out my entire new state of being, need slightly less sleep than you two probably do. So if you want, I could potentially go somewhere after that, after the little bit of sleep that I need, and try and get something else running while you two are still asleep. We wanted to try and get something such as our weapons being enhanced while we're sleeping. Or
Thing is,
purchase resources.
how much will that sort of shit cost?
Probably it's not cheap, if I remember correctly. Right, Silverwing was 100, and
I think
the
it was
enchant
25.
the consecration was 25.
Correct.
But I'm assuming that's time bounded, right?
Correct. So enchantments
hour
are
long.
time. That's why they're cheaper, and they don't require as many reagents. Whereas silvering is a more permanent solution against certain fiends of the dark. Yes, but the prices are correct. 100 for silvering, yes, and 25 for any service that requires low level spells. Work.
Which,
So side question on that. That's not something that I can learn because I didn't actually see a spell to do that kind of consecration.
Do I think clerics in their library have a cleric? It wasn't Divine Blessing, was it? Because it's a minute long. What's the 1 hour long one that I'm thinking about?
Is that magic weapon?
Magic Weapon is a paladin spell.
Yeah.
That I believe is 2nd level. You have all the spells that clerics have. I can open up this cleric spell list if you want and look for it, but Magic Weapon is a 2nd level transmutation, and I don't think you have 2nd level spells yet.
I do have 2nd level spells.
Do you have a Magic Weapon
but...
on Artificer, Paladin, Ranger, Sorcerer, Wizard? I don't see cleric on this list, so I don't think you have it as a cleric.
Yes, it's not cleric. There are a couple domains that it is, but...
You don't have Divine Favor, right? I think that's only for paladins.
Yeah, that's paladin only. And concentration up to a minute, but...
Father Lucian offered Magic Weapon is for 25 gold pieces. This is a temporary enchantment. This is a temporary solution. That's that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we have many options, honestly. If we are planning to confront them on any time, being tomorrow, waiting for Morganta, or tracking Irina, we're gonna need the help of the Father.
Yes, we'll probably need that.
You hear the sound of a brick being moved out of place. It's coming from directly behind Ea. Ea, you see one of the bricks indeed, like the dust falls off and moves out. And from the tiny hole in the wall, casually leaning through, you see a face. Half elven, very sharp jaws, and you can see the brim of a purple hat with a couple of feathers coming out of it. Octavio leans in and is like, I don't suppose I'm going to get any sleep tonight, but, if you are looking for magic weapons and such, and you are in a hurry, I know of a place that might store a few. if you dare venture there and recover some.
Interesting. Where would this be?
Well, have you ever heard a story of Family Durst? Family Durst.
I have not.
Family Durst is of an ancient, some say royal line, that existed and unfortunately perished some time ago. Nobody really knows what happened to them, and yet the house still stands to this day. Some have tried to destroy the place, but every time it will rise again. There are rumors that many treasures are hidden within the confines of the estate. Among them are the lords and ladies' weapons, armor, some of them enchanted, some of them silvered. If you dare venture there, do pick me up a souvenir. I am intrigued to learn the truth behind the place, but I am but a ringmaster, and I'm not made for that sort of thing.
How far is this house?
Oh, it is but down the street from the town square. I'll stray away from it, kind of giving it a wide berth, but I suppose it is a fine challenge for some view of yourselves.
Well, I'm certainly intrigued. Like, we don't have much resource, and if we can find something that it can help us, I'm all for.
This might be well worth checking out.
Seems like our best option.
Yes. Let's sleep and then give it a quick
Yes,
thank you, friend.
yes,
Okay.
you'll
I will say
be
to your
all the wiser in the
caviar.
morning with a bit of sleep, and frankly, I don't mind getting this out myself. So, with that, I bid you adieu, and he puts the brick back in place.
I think we should whisper from now on.
Probably worth I will spend a quick second. Can I see through cracks in the brick, or is it more tightly sealed than
It's not tightly
there's, like,
sealed,
there's
and
no
there are a
light?
few cracks, but you can like peephole through it. Yeah, sure. It won't tell much. It's a tiny
Yeah.
half an inch crack between the
Yeah.
mortars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samson,
I will then do. Yes.
you spend a little bit of time with Octavio. What's your take on him? He looks peculiar.
He is interesting. I'm not entirely sure he's what he says he is. But if nothing else, he doesn't seem to have ill intent. His storyteller appearance is at least somewhat true. He's done the research into many things. He was kind enough to give me this, and I'll hold the journal to return back to the good father. It has some important information on hags. That's where I found out about the items that they possess that we might be able to
I didn't make
take
a
away
handout,
from
but
them
you have
to
it in
admit
RP,
them.
right?
Yes, I have it
Yeah.
in RP, and I have it in my notes.
Okay.
The gem and the bag, or the stone in the bag, I should say. So
I think we could take his lead.
I agree. I like that as an option. I'll give that a check. And depending upon how much time I actually need to sleep, I may. How bad do you think me walking by outside, giving a quick glance over would be. It's probably fairly risky. Might not be worth it.
The guards say that we shouldn't venture at night. Or they
good
warning
point.
us.
Good point. Will be. I won't leave this room then.
I mean, if you wanna explore while we rest, go ahead. But just be wary.
Yes, I will. I will stay here and not do that.
I am just staring at your 1 out of 35 HP, and I'm like, A
Oh,
rat
I was
shows up
looking
and
at the
bites
fact
you.
that-
Samson is down. It keeps biting you while you're down.
Yes, yes, this is a thing that is very, very true. But I was looking at it from a standpoint of if I only need 4 hours of sleep, I potentially wake up ahead of them. But
Or you can just stand there and stare at them sleeping for 4 hours.
yeah,
That's not
there's
creepy
that
at all.
too.
No.
I mean, I'm going to be staring at you while you sleep in general because I don't sleep anymore.
All right.
So I'll just kind of be staring off into nothing.
So what's going on? What are we doing?
I'm gonna sleep.
Yes.
I sleep.
Yes, I'm going to sit down on the bed and just kind of sit there and not try and lie down and sleep for a
Sure.
bit and realize that it's not going to work, and then just kind of sit there uneasily resting, going, okay, this is new and slightly annoying.
Novak, is Connell a foot of the bed kind of pup, or is he like I take this whole space of the bed and then sleep how I want kind of pup?
Basically, he'll sleep how he wants.
Jumps on the bed, just takes up their space.
Yeah.
I would add that there is in fact a fourth bed.
Yeah. All right. As Aya, Novak, and Connell go into sleep, you can go ahead and roll that long rest off your hit dice and recover all of them, and whatever spells and stuff get recovered as well. All the while, because as I mentioned before, rather than sleeping, Reborn regularly sit and dwell on the past, hoping for some revelation of what has come before. During your dark, silent stretch of meditation, in this moment of peace, I will have you roll me a d6, please. Samson.
Is that hitting the... Do you want me to just roll the Lost Memories table, or...
Yeah.
Only Samson, right?
Just Samson. He's afflicted by this reborn thing for now. Only Samson for now.
For now.
Yeah, so there's...
Memory carries a
That.
vivid smell or sensation. What are you going to do to recreate that experience?
Probably the vivid sensation will be of back when I was training at the Temple of Saloon under one of the battle masters. I was being first taught how to use armor and my hammer, which I have somewhat given up. That was an interesting experience because I was never quite the best with that, and so Runesfire was not the most gentle of teachers, but fair. And so I probably got knocked around a good deal in that. And so I'll kind of stand up, take my hammer, and start going through some of the cases of the different swings and basically just practice some of the maneuvers that I had learned at that point.
In the dim candlelight of the
Trying
room,
to
you
get-
can still see the grooves and the various indentations upon the hammer where history has done it in. And those memories come surging back. Minutes become hours. Hours stretch on and on. At some point during the night, you notice a small figure at the corner of the room flutter upwards toward the rafts, and in the kind of underlight of the candle, you can note that it is one of the ravens. It perches, looks for a little bit, and then takes its beak and places it under its wing and continues snoozing in the room. Unless anybody else wishes to do anything else, 4 hours pass, and you two receive the benefits of a long rest, Samson, and by morning, you all may rise.
Yep. So during some of those 4 hours, I will try and go about taking a number of my gold pieces and converting them into the components needed for augury. So I'm kind of taking the gold coins and scraping them up and trying to add some marks to them. Kind of almost do a something similar to Saloon's mark, or grip, a poor interpretation of it because I am not an artist, but at least the eyes and the stars. And on the other side, I will look at the wrap that I had put around my hand, and I'll undo some of that, and I'll try and put that symbol on the other side of the coins. And so I will try and do that to 25 of them to make basically a case of the components needed for augury, kind of in a way of they're going to just be coins that I toss out, and then based off of how many are on which face, I will get some vague idea of woe or weal.
Okay. Come morning, you hear the sound of several footsteps before your companions wake as the family too rises to start preparing for the day, and several patrons, less than last night, enter and settle in for breakfast. What do you guys wish to do this morning?
Okay. For starters, I'm gonna ritual cast my unseen servant.
Yeah.
Just have it there. Okay.
Sure. Take the last 10 minutes in the morning to cast it. Unseen, but you do hear the sound of 2 hooves landing on the floor of the wooden floor.
Yeah.
Is this crow here, by the way?
Yeah, it's still snoozing, like its beak under its under its wing. Yeah.
Yep. He showed up at some point during the night. I watched him fly in and lie there to rest. He looked calm, so I didn't bother him. He was hardly causing a problem.
Okay. I'm gonna approach with some foot one of the rushes. Does he wake while I walk?
Upon your
him,
approach,
or...
he opens one eye, but his beak is still under his wing. He just opens one eye and looks at you.
Okay. I'm gonna give him the foot. I kneel and try to give it from my hand.
Roll me animal handling.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
A little bit wary and a little bit sketched out. If you maintain your hand quite still, it takes about a minute for it to scamper off its perch and close enough to quickly take a seat and begin eating some of the dried jerky and some of the nuts, some of the rations you have still from your days of travel to this place.
Okay, I'm gonna try to pet him.
Distracted by the food,
Okay.
you're able to pet him, yeah.
Okay.
Or her.
Or her. Yeah, don't assume. His feathers are blue.
Yes, under the wings, the feathers are blue, especially close to the tips. They're really bright blue. As if when spread, you would be able to see those marks looking up mid-flight.
Okay, I'm just gonna thank you for helping us last night. That's it.
The raven does something that's very eerie of a raven, where it just nods.
Curious.
Very
I
quick.
believe that there is something more into these ravens that we should try to find out later.
Yes, they're very, very intelligent.
You see a couple more of them fluttered like across the railing to the outside, close to where you're at, your side of the railing. Look at you feeding the crow and begin to scamper closer. You feed one seagull, more seagulls come. It's sort of the same thing. Eventually, begin like sort of soft fighting between each other over the food. If you're still maintaining your hand, they're pecking at it, like 3 of them at the same time, cawing all the while.
Okay. I'm gonna give them another one, and I'm gonna buy 2 more when I get out.
Okay. In a matter of minutes, you're just swarmed by 3 ravens who seem to be maintaining close proximity to you.
Question: if I'm gonna move my unseen servant, do they react to it? Do they see it?
They don't see it, and ravens are not known for a keen sense of smell or hearing, so they don't seem to be reacting to it. They're more distracted by the food.
Okay. So, are we gonna check the house now, or you wanna try?
I think we're gonna head down and grab some food, and then yes, head out and check out the house.
Well,
Perhaps we can convince one of these ravens to come with us.
okay. Yeah,
After all,
sounds
you
like
seem
a
to be
good
going to be
idea.
friends with at least one of them. Actually, 3 of them need to be hanging around you.
Okay. I wanna. I don't know how to say that. Okay, I'm gonna tell one of the ravens. Hey, can you follow us for the day? To the one that not really.
You find yourself with this strange feeling talking to an animal, but surprisingly, it reciprocates, as if understanding, and gives you another quick nod.
I believe he understands. I'm gonna get some food for him too. So I'm gonna go downstairs to the inn and buy more food. We need to have breakfast.
Yes.
Sure.
I will go ahead and follow. Although, beyond eating, I currently don't have any plans for anything else in the bar.
Breakfast is served by Danica. It is a simple portion of beet soup, freshly cooked by her husband and business partner, with a little bit of fresh bread as well. You share your meal along with 3 ravens who seem to be hopping about on the table. While the inn does not allow for most animals, you find that Danica does not mind ravens being at your tables and picking away at your food. Novak, do you stay upstairs and do anything, or are you heading with the party?
And with the party, but before that, I would give Connell some rations and all that to like feed on outside.
Connell seems a little bit anxious being in this place, especially with the various wolf head trophies on the walls everywhere. I'm not sure how we react to that. That's really up to you, but anxiety at least. Yeah. As you head downstairs after giving him some rations, he can attempt to sneak past again. Are you gonna leave him outside this time, or?
Yeah, leave him. You'll leave him outside. He won't be able to sneak into the.
Right. I will mention as you guys head down the stairs over here, just because we're teleporting around, and you head like sort of this away. Stop me if I'm moving your tokens for a second for expediency, but stop me if you are like, oh, that's interesting. Wait, hold that. What's that? You see by the well the 2 hunters are here in this early morning. They're you see Zolder, the shaven, clean one, wash his face with fresh water from the water bucket. It's a cool water, while his companion Yevgeny is just kind of sort of looking around and not see you as you pass and greeting. Looks at the wolf and just smirks. It's funny to see such a wild animal in these parts, but it recognizes a tamed animal when it sees one. Kind of takes its time. Yevgeny takes his time to look at Novark's like bow and like his gear, and just kind of take an appreciation toward it, and noting the presence of another hunter in their midst. You guys head in, get your breakfast, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will, of course, return the greeting to them, but nothing fancy.
Sure.
Yeah, Novark would have just nodded to him. Connell wouldn't really just stay in one place, he'd just kind of roam around the grounds. Just the grounds, he wouldn't go too far.
Do you have the ability the rangers do where you can see through your animal's eyes?
This depends.
Or is that... Do you have Find Familiar is what I'm asking. As a spell.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, so Colin will take his time to, do what wolves do in the wild and just prowl around. You see Rictavio. He's leaning against the railing upstairs on the other side, opposite from you guys. He has a book in hand, and he's just reading over the railing, and in between pages, he glances up, and he seems to be just relaxing this morning. The two children are having their breakfast as well, Danica at the table. You have your food. What do you wish to do from here?
I suppose we should probably ask about the Durst family of someone other than just Rictavio, despite his apparent trustworthiness. I suppose if it's as well known as he says, I suppose the children would know anything? Or do you think we should just talk to their parents? Children tend to be
More honest.
Yes. So I will go ahead and tap one of the, just kind of a chunk of food, a little chunk of bread with the light spell, and kind of just levitate it around my, twirling between my fingers. I walk over to the children, say, I have a question for you.
Wow! They say it both at the same time. Neat.
Yes, it's a minor thing.
Glowing bread.
And I will start making it float around them around their heads in kind of a figure eight. Recasting Mage Hand is needed to keep it going. We'd heard of the Durst family. Have you heard of their house and any tales? Apparently it's something that people avoid.
Durst family, says one of the boys. Nobody calls it that around anymore. You mean Death House?
Oh. That's
Yeah, that place is creepy. We used to throw rocks through the windows all the time, but then it's so cool. We would throw the rocks in, and the glass would reshape itself and repair itself overnight, and then we do it day in day out, and it's such a cool place. But Dad says we're not allowed to go in there because I don't know.
I imagine if something is called the Death House, it's probably not safe for.
Yeah, well, it's better than calling it Dursthaus. What kind of nerd calls it Dursthaus?
Or I suppose the one who told us about it. I think Death House is a much more interesting name.
Yeah, Mom tells us that something bad has happened there. We're not allowed to go inside, and several of the Burgomeister's guards went inside and just kind of never came back. So people usually just leave it alone. And the Burgomeister he tried to destroy the place, and he just kind of grew back up.
That's very interesting to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I will say, you can keep this, and I'll kind of let the floating glowing bread land on the table.
So he reaches his arms out, and his brother slaps his hands away and looks toward the Danica. Danica is just passively entertainingly watching the two, and she just gives him a quick nod, it's okay. And they reach for the bread and take it. and they don't eat it. They just play with it. They just keep tossing it back and forth, or like playing around with it, pretend to be like spellcasters or whatever, like doing like kamehameha motions with it and stuff. Being children with like a glowing piece of bread, essentially.
Yes. Children always love glowing, floating things.
They look about Annabelle's age, 7 to 10 years old. About the same age. Similar features. Not sure if twins or just very close in age, but yeah.
Yeah. So I will walk back. So apparently it is not called the Dursthaus. It's called the Deathhouse. And apparently it regrows if you break it.
The raven takes a few of the seeds at the table, and as you say Death House, he just goes, Death! Keeps pecking at the seeds at the table.
Aren't you a clever one? Well, I suppose we've been in worse. I suppose it's still probably our best bet. After all, if the house can recover from children throwing rocks through windows and the burgomaster trying to burn the house down, or at least destroy it and sending in his guards, and the guards not coming back and the house still standing, there's probably something powerful and magic in there.
Yes, we should try to recover it, but
Yes.
the name unnerves me a little bit. Sorry.
A little bit.
Well, as long as we can get close to it, we can get and see what we're dealing with. We'll take a walk up there and have a look around.
Yes.
You guys can keep discussing, and Octavio makes his way downstairs, and you see him approach toward the bar, and just goes,
Question.
the usual, darling. And
Question, did he come down that employee's stairs?
yes.
Okay. Well, I suppose it's time for us to head out. And yeah, unless either of you or Novak want to hang around here and do something else, I'm all to. I think it's time we head out there. Or actually, let's hold. I have one thing we can potentially do ahead of that. I can try and figure out if us going to this house will give us an opportunity to get items that can help us save Ivina and take on the hags. If you want to spend 10 minutes before
How do
we
you
head out to do that.
to do it?
Well, I was going to ask Daelun for some advice, and perhaps this, and I'll point to my hand where the mark is, but now is back covered. Might save us some danger if it turns out there's nothing in that house that will help us in taking on the hags and saving Irina.
If you want to do that, lad, and it helps you understand whatever's going on there, on you.
Okay.
And Novak would just stand up though, and he just kind of wander outside to Connell.
Yep. I will go ahead and ritual cast Augury.
Sure. What's your inquiry?
My inquiry is, if we search the death house, will we find resources that will help us in taking on the hag
You get
and making that encounter easier?
whatever the equivalent of wheel is. A good result.
Okay. So I see more Saloon faces up than Zeldul faces.
Judun?
Zudun, yes.
Yeah,
I
okay.
will eventually learn how to pronounce that.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that's what you were pronouncing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, I will learn that. So after that's done,
Absolutely. I think the first one is 100% accurate, right? It only diminishes in following
yes.
castings.
If I cast it again, but if I cast it again before a long rest, then there's a 25%
100%,
chance
100%
of
wheel.
it being random.
100%
Yes.
wheel. Yeah.
So after that, I'll turn to and it's kind of to head out. Well, there's at least something. I can't tell you what or how, but there's something in that house that will aid us in taking on the hags and saving Irina. So
Well, shall we depart? Did you?
I
Are
believe
you
so.
good?
As you go to stand up with your tables, you see, because she's right in front of you, you see Danica briefly go to the kitchen and not so much enter but reach around the door to an already prepared package. She grabs it and casually gives it to Rictavia, who gives you a courtesy nod, exchanges a few coins, and makes his way toward the door approximately at the same time as you guys pretty much get off the table. He goes across and passing past Novark, he gives us a quick smirk toward Connell, rummages in the package, and he's like, "Here you go, boy." And he offers Connell, if you will take it, a little cube of meat.
Connell would be, especially he'd be sniffing at it, like just trying to understand what it is.
It's talking fresh meat.
Just meat.
Raw, yeah.
Then yeah, he would take it if he can't smell anything off about it. Yeah.
Good. Such a good boy. And Rictavia begins to maneuver over due east toward the main artery, as Samson and Aya pretty much, if you guys want to leave, you can maybe leave. Yeah. The one raven, the initial raven, flutters about, skimpering about Aya, and keeps a close proximity to her. Seems to have either formed a sort of bond, or is just curious, or just wants more seed. But he keeps close.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna buy brushes. How much is that? Sorry, or are we
Rations?
not keeping track of it? Yeah.
We are keeping it. If you wish to buy them, I believe I can find. I will find it on retrospect and let you know in a quick second.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can do it later then. No worries.
Yeah, sure. If you want to keep food on you, you can. You can also be like, I just take a little bit of breakfast with me, and that's rations free right there.
Yeah, that's. I did that.
Go ahead and add 2 sets of rations. It's enough. All right. With that, where are you guys headed?
To the beautiful
Ooh.
house, dream house.
I'm gonna say for
Yes,
the sake
to the Durst house.
for the sake of expediency, you got directions from Octavio last night when he informed you. What you planned there.
I was looking at how far away it was and trying to determine if I would have time to ritual cast detect magic as we arrived.
Sure. 1 second.
Yeah. So where's the place?
I am giving it a quick read. Okay, there's that, open that, and then features, yes, and Dursthaus. Okay, cool. Alright, so the gravel road of the main artery leads you to a set of tall houses, dark as tombstones. Nestled among these solemn dwellings are a handful of close-up shops. Yeah, you see that the streets are rather empty this time of morning. People are still waking up, but you still hear the soft whimpering that draws your eye toward a pair of children standing in the middle of an otherwise lifeless street.
Uh, is it quiet? Like that quiet?
It's early morning. People are still rising. Some people are still busy opening their shops and stuff, but it's relatively quiet, save for this whimpering sound coming from a small boy and an older-looking girl.
Well, I will walk up to them, say, "Hello, what seems to be wrong?"
Sort of shushing the boy, the girl turns to you and says, "There's a monster in that house." She points to a tall brick row of houses that has been seen better days. Its windows are dark. It has a gated portio on the ground floor, and the rusty gate is slightly ajar. The house on either side are abandoned as well. They seem so, and their windows and doors are boarded up.
Do you live in there? And I point to the house.
We used to.
So, what kind? Have you seen the monster that is in the house?
I don't know what it looks like, but I've heard it. It's terrible howls. Our parents keep the monsters trapped in the basement. Our baby brother is on the 3rd floor. I couldn't get him. He's still in the nursery. Keeps on sniffing about.
Oh,
Is your
that's... Go on, Ao.
yeah? Is your baby brother still in the house?
Yes.
We cannot let a baby along with a monster in the place. We should help them.
Yeah, well, no. How long has the child been in there?
They've been standing outside, the boy weeping, holding on to his little doll. And I mean, they've been standing there since you guys arrived.
No, like how? Yeah, but how long has the baby been inside? The baby brother.
He's asking to the kids.
Oh. Well, I mean, we laid him to sleep, and but we heard the howls and got scared, so we went outside. In the rush of it all, I forgot to grab him. She says he's been there since he fell asleep, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there anyone else in the house?
Our baby brother and that thing. I'm too scared to go back and get him until it's gone.
Okay.
Well then, I suppose that we will have to do that then. Out of curiosity, you said this is no longer where you live. Where do you live now?
We don't know. Until the monster is gone, we have no home.
I will go ahead and put my hand on the girl's shoulder. Say, everything should be okay.
You reach out to the girl and she looks up to you and you touch and she goes, "You shouldn't have done that." And then they both wisp away. Just turn to mist.
Oh dear. That was not... I didn't do anything. I was just trying to reassure them. I was going to direct them to the orphanage. That's not good. Well, that now makes me concerned about how long their baby brother has been.
Yeah, that's
in
why
the
I
building.
asked. Said they haven't lived here for a long time. The windows are all boarded up, but the baby's fucking sleeping.
Babies don't sleep that long, do they? They don't.
If there's howling and shit, I'd suspect a baby would be crying right now.
Yeah. Well, it's
If not, that is the deepest sleeping baby I've ever heard of.
if nothing else, I think we probably enter in and at least try and figure out what happened to those two and their brother. Perhaps we can lay them to rest. I'm sure the father would offer a plot in the church.
Yeah, I agree. So I start walking to the house.
Sure.
Yeah. I will have. No, so I do not have detect magic up right now because we would not have had enough time walking to ritual cast that.
I mean, that's up to you, depending on your pace, right? From the inn down the main artery. If this is indeed the direct route you took, the most direct one will be like 1,700 feet.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't think we were that slow. I think we were moving at a reasonable pace.
You can do it inside the house either way.
Yeah. Well, I will. As you approach the door, I'll say, "Let me try first. I'm gonna mage hand and try and turn the doorknob. I'm assuming that's a doorknob.
Yeah, there's a wrought
Of some
iron
sort.
gate with hinges on one side and a lock on the other. Fills the archway of a stone patio, which you have to step upon in order to approach. The gate itself is unlocked, and its rusty hinges kind of shriek when the gate is opened. Oil lamps hang from the patio ceiling by chains, flanking a set of oaken doors that, indeed, with your mage hand as you turn the doorknob, unlock the door, swinging open a crack.
Okay,
Is
well, I
there-
suppose I was being cautious for no reason.
I'm putting us on a map.
Okay.
Novark and Connell. Connell, big boy.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
pretty big.
There we go.
Giant wolf.
The as the door creaks open, it opens to a sort of grand foyer. I have to play around with vision in this place. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Door opens.
Okay. I wanna see if the floor is gonna collapse or something like that. If it's
Well, the
in a
house
bad
has seen
state.
better days, and you step onto the first step, it does creak. There's no holes or anything. The house is disheveled, but not like run down to the point where it's like rotting away, just from seeing.
Walking through it.
Joel, Aya takes the lead. As you look around, you see that hanging on the south wall of the foyer is a shield, emblazoned with a coat of arms of sort, a stylized golden windmill on a red field, flanked by framed portraits of stony-faced aristocrats. Mahogany-framed double doors leading from the foyer are set on the northern side of this room. They're set with panes of stained glass. I think you have vision, right? Yes, okay, cool.
Yeah, I have vision. The door is closed, right? The
door is
the next one.
closed, but not locked.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
doesn't seem to be any bars or anything.
Okay. I have my
I
unseen
will
servant
follow in.
with me, just in case.
Sure.
Yeah, I will follow kind of one step behind Aya.
Sure thing. Connell sniffs the ground as he paces in, his footprints leaving dust marks on the floor, imprints, sniffing about. As you step into that main hall of some sorts, you see this wide hall runs the width of the house, with a black marble fireplace at at one end and a sweeping red marble staircase at the other. Mounted on the wall above the fireplace is a longsword, with a windmill cameo worked into the hilt. The wood-paneled walls are ornately sculpted with images of vines, flowers, nymphs, and satyrs.
Does the windmill? I don't think it will, but it reminds us to the. It looks like the windmill of the hacks. For
It
any
looks
reason.
like Bone Grinder Mill set in a better day.
Okay. Okay. I want to check the fireplace.
Sure.
Has been having like any fire anytime soon?
Roll
Recently, sorry.
the fireplace is not lit until you approach closer. A small spark, and the fire lights itself.
Okay, I turn to the party and we're not alone here. I wanna use Divine Sense. Let me look for the description.
Just from the passiveness of Divine Sense, you so many places in this realm sensed foul stench of necromancy. But as far as this room, as eerie as it is, you do not detect any outer planar forces. Or anybody else in the room with
Okay.
you. Outside of your own companions.
Yeah. Quick question. If I give a look over on the shield, does it look purely decorative, or does it look like it was at one point an actual shield that they've hung up?
Both. It now serves as decorative, but perhaps in time it does look battle ready.
Okay, so it wasn't just like a thin fake facade thing.
No, it looks city forged and battle ready.
Okay.
How does the sword look, by the way, on top of the fireplace?
It is a long sword, much larger than your usual short sword, and it looks in pristine condition, never seen combat.
I'm gonna grab it.
Do you do so?
Yes.
It is.
Does anything happen?
No, it's heavy. You grab it off and wait a moment in the silence. No trigger of a trap or anything. It's in your grasp.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on my hip somehow.
Do you have a spare scabbard?
Not really. So in my hand, I'm gonna carry it in my hand.
You would have to, unless you have some sort of loop or a way to strap it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry it.
I will pull out some rope, or I'll say I at least have some rope if you want to try and tie something. You want to try and tie it so that you can use your primary sword. I will go ahead and mage hand the shield off to me to inspect it a little bit more, and then, assuming it seems normal and relatively simple and straight, and there's nothing particularly interesting on it, I'll strap it to my back where I would normally wear my primary shield, but I'll have my primary shield in my hand.
The mage hand attempts to lift the shield, though it is heavy. It is less than 10 pounds, I believe. 10 pounds is a lot for a shield. With a click,
shields are sticks.
It lifts off, and when it does, one of the hooks that was holding it up just falls onto the mantelpiece. But nothing else happens as the shield hovers and begins to approach closer towards you. Yes. The shield is as I described it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just kind of strap that onto. Actually, no, I'm gonna just kind of put it. I'm gonna put it down after the closer inspection. So I don't know how useful this will be. I'll check it out. Actually,
Sorry, I disconnected for a second.
He took the shield. You took the sword. He took the shield.
yes, I mage hand the shield.
Okay.
Because we're taking things right now and trying to figure out what in here will help us in our mission and what happened to the two children and their brother.
They say their brother was upstairs last time.
Yes.
And
I think
the
probably means
monster.
he's in the basement.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should probably head upstairs. So that's the other question, I suppose, is do we want to spend a little bit of time here for me to get the tech magic up and running so that we can potentially see what, if anything, is magic in this building. After all, that fireplace turned on,
Well,
ignited.
didn't the kids say that the windows repaired themselves? Wouldn't that say the whole building in itself is magic?
Good point. It might be a little overwhelming. We'll hold on for a bit. And I will go ahead and strap the dunce shield onto my back.
Okay.
Durst. Yep.
You can see there are plaques under each portrait along the walls of these like aristocratic, noble, chalk-faced people, and you can see that their names etched below them. Yeah, like it's the same last name. It's Gustav Durst, Elizabeth Durst. It's the same one repeating and repeating. There are doors about. I think you can see
so these are like
them.
generational family portraits.
Yes. Some of them more ancient than others, but yes.
Yeah. Just, I suppose, out of curiosity, is it obvious which one's the most recent?
They're not dated. Some of them are way too aged to be recent. All of them are rather old. I'll make you rule for it. I'm just trying to decide what you should rule.
Yeah. Probably either an investigation or a perception.
Let's do like investigation, just as a general. Yeah. From having seen the children outside, you note that their portraits are missing. Their portraits are missing.
Okay.
And you're not sure who everybody else is. Just a list of names. Elizabeth, Gustav, Thornbrod. Like, just names and faces.
Okay, I will take at least some mental note of the names.
Sure. Where you guys headed?
Upstairs? This is a door, right?
Yeah, all the white little marks are doors.
What do you think? Should we try to look for what happened to the kid, or?
I think
Maybe
probably.
Look around as we're. Well, the thing is, we could go upstairs, check on the kid, but hear the sound yet. I don't think you're going to find much.
Probably.
But
Although I'm starting to see a bloody occurrence in this place. And those are always creepy children.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of things here to do that.
Puts you off having kids, doesn't it?
You okay?
Uh-huh.
As they're just wandering over, just kind of hang his Connell just to fall beside him and just start like sniffing across the doors as they're walking past, just to see if he can pick up anything.
Looking for anything specific? I mean, the place is eerie by itself, but like,
Yeah, just any like strong smells coming inside, like that maybe we wouldn't smell unless we opened the door. Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
if it was
Yeah,
like a dead body inside, then
no cadaverous smell coming from that door or any doors on his floor. He does linger about in the door toward the northeast, but it's more like a
this one.
hungry kind of expression on his face rather than there's a dead body behind the door. Yes.
Okay, so this one here.
Yes.
This is not my area of expertise. Exploring old buildings.
No, he's indicating there's something here, but so it's hungry from.
Should we check?
Well,
I
the
suppose.
kid says the monster's in the basement. That could be the basement door.
Yeah, I'm not keen to see the basement yet, honestly.
We'd be better check everywhere else before we do that.
Yeah, probably.
So,
So do we want to just play it safe and head upstairs and start searching floors 2 and 3? On the assumption that to get to the basement, you go from floor 1? After all, that's
yes.
normally how buildings work, right?
Yeah.
Well then, let's head on
Unless
upstairs.
there's a side way into the basement, like a hatch or something, but yeah.
Yes, I will follow on going up.
All right. As you head up the spiraling grand staircase, I am going to scroll down and skip a whole bunch of rooms, and there we go.
Don't worry, we'll get back to those.
Probably check here.
Unlit oil lamps are mounted on the walls of this elegant hall. Hanging above the mantelpiece is a wood frame portrait of the Durst family. Indeed, the golden plate beneath it reads Gustav, Elizabeth, and their 2 children, Rose and Thorn. The portrait looks something like this. Okay.
Thank you. I was going to ask for that.
I don't. The modules have. 1 second.
Yeah, the image doesn't appear for me.
Let me. I'm fixing it. I think this will work if I do it this way. Oh, come on now. Fine. You know what? I am going to make it a handout. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah. If you click on that, it at least opens it up.
I want to make it a handout.
Yeah.
House Durst. In players' journals, all players uploading. Save and show to players. There you go.
Oh my. That's not the...
Wait. Maybe I misheard. You said that it had the Durst family and their 2 children. Or did I mishear that?
That's what the plate reads, yes.
Maybe they didn't name the last baby yet. That's why it's empty.
Or he's not old enough to have his own portrait.
Exactly. Or...
No, I'm sorry. It's just the name's a mistake. I just didn't read far enough. And indeed the baby is given a name. It is has a name. It's just that these notes are horrendous. I usually make my own notes, but Walter.
Walter.
Gustav, Elizabeth, Rose, the other one, and Walter. Rose,
Okay.
Thorn, and Walter.
All those names, it starts off with interesting names and then just very generic war.
Perhaps.
Are
Well,
these statues?
These are full suits of armor. They are armed with these halberds, and they seem to just ornamentally stand guard by each set of doors. Yeah, suits of armor flank wooden doors in the east and west walls. Each suit of armor clutches a halberd and has the visored helm shaped like a wolf's head. The doors are carved with dancing youths, although those of you who stand close to them begin to notice something strange about these carvings. The youths aren't really dancing, but are fighting off swarms of bats. The red spiral gaze goes down and it continues spiraling up from here.
Well, I suppose the question is, do we want to go immediately to the third floor to try and find what's become of the now named Walter? Or do we do what we had initially come here for and start trying to find what's potentially in this, or what's in this house that will be beneficial to us in our mission to save Irina?
I think that maybe we should inspect each room before getting to the last one.
I think we should. I'm inclined to agree. We should search this floor. At least that way, we just have the things on the first floor and the basement that will come up to get us when we go to the third floor. At least getting one of those is better. By the way, what did you do to turn to light the fireplace on the first floor? Because I'm assuming this fireplace is not lit currently.
No.
Hmm.
Did it just...
Okay.
No, you approach and it remains dead. There are cobwebs within it. If anything, there's a cold draft coming from up the chimney.
Well, something odd about the downstairs fireplace then. So, I suppose... Do we have a preference? North or south?
Pick the door, any door.
Well, let's go with this one then.
Alright.
Yep.
Pushing it open. You come upon what looks to be some sort of a conservatory. Gossamer drapes cover the windows of this elegantly appointed hall, which has brass-plated chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Upholstered chairs line the walls, and a stained glass wall hangings depict a beautiful man, woman, and children singing and playing instruments. You see a harpsichord with a bench rests in the northwestern corner. And I just realized that north in this map is this way, so it's a harpsichord, you can see it. Near the fireplace is a large standing harp, and you can see also there's alabaster figurines of well-dressed dancers adorn the mantelpiece. Again, close inspection of these reveals that several are carvings of well-dressed skeletons.
How does this piano looks?
Harpsichord? Are you aware of
Yep.
what a harpsichord is?
No idea what it is really. Frank.
Let me show you a picture.
Oh, they're amazing. It's a piano, except that instead of the piano tune, it plays the same as a harp would.
Okay.
So it's just it is effectively an old style equivalent to piano.
I don't know why images are not loading. So weird.
They are.
You can click on them. I'm sorry, I don't know why they're not loading.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
guys
this
see
is-
anything here?
Now, is odd. I suppose. I wonder. Do you think we should play some music or try it?
Those of you who place your fingers upon the keys notice, looking into the harpsichord, the harpsichord's strings are cut.
Well, I don't think we can guess from a sharp object or from rust or age.
They seem to have been cut rather than torn and stretched out. It's a very clean cut.
Okay.
Is it similar with the harp?
No, the harp is whole.
Well, I suppose we should try this, and I will I'd like to do mage hand to kind of give the harp a strum.
The few strings there are still whole give a very discordant sort of noise. The instrument has been here for quite some ages and is in an unfunctional state at this point. At the sound that you make, something upstairs creaks, floorboards, movement. Some of the dust rains down. And you hear a whine, like that of a dog or something.
Okay. Something is moving. We should be more quiet. Fuck. Norvak, your dog almost killed me.
It is quite a jump of him coming out of the darkness. Thankfully, most of you guys have some sort of light or some sort of vision that you can see in the dark. This whole room is unlit. While the downstairs were completely presentable for guests, this place seems less welcoming. Unlit lanterns, dust.
Is there anything visibly interest more than the piano and the harp itself? You said there's skeletons?
Yeah, the mantelpiece work, the kind of alabaster work above, features what we first thought were just young people, frolicking about, but upon close inspections you can see that it is in fact like skulls and skeletons and such. Very macabre alabaster carving.
Weird decor. There's... I don't see anything around this room. Should we check the other one?
Yes. And then at some point, if we continue to have poor luck in finding anything of interest, I think we take a little bit of time and hope that my detect magic will at least isolate anything of more interest.
Those of you who make your way across the hall and open that door come upon another room. This one seems to be some sort of a library. You see red velvet drapes cover the windows of this room. An exquisite mahogany desk and a matching high-back chair face the entrance and the fireplace, above which hangs a framed picture of a windmill perched up a rocky crag. Situated in the corner of the room are two overstuffed chairs. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves line the south wall. A ruling wooden ladder allows one to more easily reach the high shelves.
Okay, I wanna try to check the books that are around?
Sure.
And I will do similar, but I would like to check the desk for
Sure.
anything that looks to have been last used there.
One at a time. The bookshelves, you can see, hold hundreds of tomes covering a range of topics including history, warfare, and alchemy. There are also several shelves containing first edition collected works of poetry and fiction. The books rot and fall apart at places, especially if touched.
Is any of them look like have been moved recently?
Roll me perception.
The perception. Yeah.
Not in recent time. This library seems to have been abandoned. Few dare adventure here, and you doubt that these books have been touched in some time. Samson, you inspecting the desk, you see the desk has several items resting on top of it. An oil lamp, a jar of ink, a quill pen, a tinder box, and a letter kit containing a red wax candle, 4 blank sheets of parchment, and some sort of a wooden seal bearing the Durst family's insignia, that of a windmill. The desk drawer is empty except for an iron key.
Well, I will go ahead and pick up the seal. Look at that, and I will pick up the key. Say, well, here's a key that hopefully opens something of interest. I wonder what this seal is. This seal is of any import. I will go ahead and pocket the key.
What's Connell doing this entire time?
Connell's just kind of standing outside, just like looking around and focus on the stairs where he pretty much heard that. Like you said, we heard like something earlier, so yeah.
Okay.
So he'll be more focused on staying in the hall, just keeping an eye out.
Sure. No troubles there then. The Raven.
Hey, did you find anything? Oh, sorry.
You first.
Hey, did you find anything?
No, like these books go to dust when you touch them.
Well, that's unfortunate. I was not that successful either. Just got a key and this seal.
Do you know, is there any marking in the key? Like, it could give a clue of what it opened?
I suppose I will give the key a closer inspection.
The key has seen much use, but it's not labeled, no.
What's the size of the key? I mean, how big is it?
Fits halfway, like half the size of your palm. It's a large key.
Okay.
Complex enough to actually be of use. It wasn't cheaply made. Whoever possessed this key wanted to keep whatever it locks locked.
Well,
in a time of silence,
perhaps we find the lock.
You hear the flutter of wings as the raven flutters just above Connell's reach, trying to avoid it, and onto the sofa here. It gives a very soft coo sound. Coo. As it begins to flutter about the books, and you see with its beak it begins trying to pull them off the shelves one by one, and it starts with the lower shelves and they thump the ground. It seems to be either looking for something or just pulling up the books out of the shelves.
I think we should
Suppose
try
you have an
to...
idea what your friend wants.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to help the crow and move the books out of the shelf to see if there is something behind them.
While you're doing that, it's gonna take you a better part of a minute. Does anybody else wish to do anything in the meantime?
Yeah, no, I was just keeping watch because
Okay.
he has no idea about books.
And
I will say, if you're watching, I'll help with the books. I will go ahead and help try and clear some of the books.
Rolling perception to see if you can expedite this.
oh yeah.
Get him out of the way now.
Well,
It takes you the better part of like 5 minutes to go through all the tomes in the library. The crow getting more and more frustrated all the while. The temperature of the entire house begins to drop steadily, and Novark, you begin to note that your breath is coming out in this foggy kind of mist, same as Connell's.
Things are getting cold.
Yeah, there's a chill that seems to be coming from upstairs and working its way down. Dew begins to form along the metal parts of your armor. As you guys are working your way through, finally you touch the red spine of a book. The spine is blank, but when you pull it apart, you know that it is indeed a switch disguised to look like a red covered book. As you do so, you hear a mechanical click as a secret door shifts inwards and then sideways into the shelves, revealing a compartment behind it.
Maybe what Saloon told you, it will help something. Okay. I get inside the room.
Okay, stepping inside the secret room, you see it contains bookshelves packed with tomes. Some of them seem to be on different topics, darker topics. Some of them cover fiend summoning rituals and the necromantic rituals of a cult. All of them bear the same symbol. A circle with a skull within it, kind of emblazoned with like blacks and greens, like black that seems like shimmer or green as you kind of, if you would like put any sorts of light near it. A heavy wooden chest with clawed iron feet stands against the wall where you're standing. Its lid half closed. Sticking out of the chest is a skeleton in leather armor.
Is he standing, sitting, or laying on the ground?
He is, if you look, he's like leaned against the chest. It's half open, and he's like fallen into the chest because skeleton follows gravity. Half of him is outside the chest, and yeah, he's died opening the chest.
Samson, do you think that when he opened the chest, something killed him?
Perhaps. Why don't you step a little bit back?
Yeah.
And get behind me. I'm gonna try something. Okay. So, I would like to target the skeleton with telekinetic shove. In reality, it's going to be a telekinetic pull to try and pull it 5 feet towards me. I don't know. I don't know for sure if that can target inanimate objects. I know it's normally a bonus action in combat to target a foe.
I don't see why not.
But
you do so. You do so, and as you pull, the skeleton rips in half. Half it falls into the chest. The other half, the upper torso, kind of falls back, and you see upon its leather armor sticking out of it are several darts. Their feathers long faded, but the metal still sticking into the armor at points.
Yeah, well, I imagine that's what killed him, and given the nature, I assume that happened when he opened the chest. Well, hopefully that means it's done, and I'd like to use Mage Hand to try and open the chest up.
Open
Fully.
the lid hits the back
Yes.
of the wall. You don't hear anything trigger.
Okay, well, I think that means it's relatively safe. And I will go ahead and walk in up to the chest and look inside of it.
Passing by the skeleton on the floor, you see clutching the skeleton's left hand is some sort of a letter bearing the seal of a castle, familiar looking, perched atop its stone pillar with a raven kind of edifice. I can show you what the crest looks like. I'm just gonna tell you what it is. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting. I will go ahead and use Mage Hand to bring that up to Aya.
The paper is old, musty, but the seal is well kept. Paper ages faster than wax.
Should we try to read it now or later to open it?
I assume now.
Now. Okay.
Oh, crap, can you put that back up? I was closing the other one.
I thought that if we try to open it, it was gonna crumble, so that's why I'm asking.
You take the risk. Thankfully, it does not crumble to dust. Oh, we just gonna silently. Okay, I'll read it. My most pathetic servant. I am not a messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you on a path to immortality. However many souls you have bled on your hidden altar, however many visitors you have tortured in your dungeon, know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but worms writhing in my earth. You say that you are cursed, your fortunes spent. You abandoned love for madness, took solace in the bosom of another woman, and sired a stillborn son. Cursed by darkness, of that I have no doubt. Save you from your wretchedness, I think not. I much prefer you are as you are. Your dread lord and master, Strahd von Zarovich.
This is...
Oh. That's interesting.
Yes, but...
Melvark, are we still relatively safe here?
Well, it's getting really colder out here, so it'll be relatively quick. If you
Okay.
can.
So yeah, I will look in the chest and see what this guy was trying to grab desperately before he got impaled repeatedly by...
Aside from the letter he
darts.
was trying to get out of the chest contains 3 blank books with black leather covers. There are several spell scrolls within the chest, each containing their own spell. You count 3 in total. There's also a deed to a house and a signed will.
So I will pick up all of those, so the scrolls, the deed, and the will.
If you're picking up the
I
spell
will-
scrolls, they operate as normal spell scrolls. One of each. Bless, protection from poison, and spiritual weapon.
Nice. Does the armor in the skeleton, you say it's golden, right?
It's leather.
Ah, leather. I don't know why I heard golden. Is there like any crest or insignia around the body?
No.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, what is it? Kind of normal quality? It's not. It's nothing.
It's well worn. It has been here for ages. You would guess
Okay.
several centuries. Just from the way it's
Well.
worn down. So, yeah.
That's relatively less than useful. So I think, other than the chest and the skeleton, there is nothing really else in that room, right?
The
Not
books.
remembering.
The deed to the house within, and the will, the 3 scrolls,
And then you had the books.
and the books. Yes, the books lying on the shelves and contained within the chest.
I'm gonna spend 30 seconds glancing over the books. Do I see any that reference this
Yundu?
what's his name? Yundu.
Yudum?
Judun?
Judun. Yeah,
Yes,
Judun.
one of the books references Judun. Each of the
I
books
will-
references a different entity. You recognize Jodun, another references Ossibus, spelled like so, if you're curious.
How many books are they in the shelf? Sorry.
It's the shelf is packed with tomes containing fiend summoning rituals and necromantic rituals of different kinds.
Okay. I would like to try to pick the ones that seems religious, if there are any.
Religious? There's one. Specifically the one that refers to the cult of Osiris. Is a religion in soul matter, more cult than anything, but religion nonetheless.
Okay, I'll pick that one and
Sure.
get it in my backpack.
Yep. I will grab the one on Zedun, and I'm not going to even open that. I'm just going to put it in my backpack for reading later.
Sounds good. Probably not the best
Yeah,
place
well.
to read books anyways. For the chills,
Yes.
they continue.
And then I will make my way out. Well, we've got a couple scrolls of some magic and a deed to a house, assuming this one, and a will.
If you open up the deed and read real quick, the deed is to the windmill.
Oh, the deed is to the wind. It's the deed to the windmill itself. That's interesting.
Where's
And
the windmill?
the windmill, we came by. The windmill is currently the home of a coven of hags. It's between here and the village of Barovia. The hags use it to produce pastries.
You guys have vision when
Let's
I load up
have-
on the map, by the way?
We
Yes,
have
we have
limited
vision.
vision.
I can see out to here.
Okay, cool. That's intended. Good. Okay.
Until here. This is like the
The map handout I made, there it is, but this map represents how far the party can see in reality. That's why I made it like, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So should we check the other floors?
I suppose we should probably head on up. At this point, there's no other doors in this room, right?
No, the
I don't
Ravens
see
seem to
any.
have calmed down. It seems to be in the know, but just unable to communicate and very frustratedly trying to help you. No, there are
Yes.
no other passages if you investigate further. Although you do note the very strange indentation, a structure of this house. If you look at like the northern side of this room, there is like a 5x5 wall indentation, and then you walk into the other side, there is no door. So it's not like a closet or anything, but there's something behind that wall. But no secret doors or anything. It's just this 5x5
Yeah. So
area. Yeah.
So right here, there's
Yeah.
an odd mismatch that geometrically something should be there.
Space that has no door to it. Yes, essentially.
Yes. Well, I suppose upstairs. Figure out where this cold is coming from.
Everybody head upstairs. Anybody lingering about?
Yes,
Nope.
upstairs.
Heading up.
Gonna stack
Together.
Stack your guys up right now, just so I can teleport you to the third floor. Da, 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 da. There we go. Alright. As you climb the red marble staircase to its full height, you come to a dusty balcony with a suit of black plate armor standing against one wall draped in cobwebs. Oil lamps are mounted on the oak-paneled walls, which are carved with woodland scenes of trees, falling leaves, and tiny critters. Upon closer inspection, you notice tiny corpses hanging from the trees and worms bursting up from the ground.
Worms busting from the ground. Okay.
From the oak-paneled
I
walls.
cannot
Yeah.
move, by the way.
You cannot move? Oh, sorry. There you go.
Likewise. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. I would like to check the wall, and yeah, I'm gonna see if the wall has anything behind it. I'm knocking on it to see if it sounds hollow.
It is made of oak paneled wood, featuring that Cena described all along it. It's very fancily made, and there is a room behind it, if you would guess by the hollowness. However, the noise you stir earns you a creak from your left, and you look and horrified to see that the suit of armor, the helm, turns to look at you, and the grip upon its sword tightens. Roll me initiative. I had initiative from last time. Did I not remove it, or is that... Okay, hold on. Roll me initiative now. Go ahead. I had to clear old initiative.
Oh.
Or I can just... whatever number you rolled there. Good initiative all around.
And the previous one was 2.
I put
Okay,
2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And is that rolling with advantage? No, it is not. I have to figure out how to do that because I have always roll with advantage turned on. But
That's okay. Novak, being on guard and watching, you are on top of the round. As the suit of armor begins to creak, rusted, and lifts a giant-looking, almost like a metal cudgel.
Okay, so it's just like a
Animated suit of armor.
animated. Okay. Right. Well. Right, Novar's going to like step back a little and just about a little range on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's just going to try and take a pop shot at it, like right at the head. Just see if they knock off the helmet. Would they still have range there if it was?
Yeah, you'll have to aim between the railings, but it's not big enough to have any cover for it, and it's quite a big target, and you are, proficient with your weapon, so it's a trick shot, but you'll manage to perhaps even slip an arrow between that eye slit. Go ahead and roll to hit. 24 hits.
24. 6 piercing.
The arrow whistles through the air and hits it square into the hollowness that is behind its helmet. You hear...
And also...
Yep, the opposite side of the helm ring out as it hits the back. There's no meat, no bone, no nothing inside. Nonetheless, you see it kind of shudder as it loses some of its constitution. 6 damage. With that, it reels back, and with the momentum of being leaned back, it goes for a wide swing around, making 2 attacks as it tries to cleave around one each of you, Samson and Ea. Ea at natural 20 hits for 10 bludgeoning damage, while a 20, I believe, hits as well, 3 bludgeoning damage against Samson.
20 does hit.
Yes, just a wide
20 does
sweeping
hit,
cleave.
so...
Yeah.
Yes.
You can hear, even though there's nothing inside the helmet, a very metallic, raspy breath coming from within the helmet as it begins to reel back for a second swing. Samson, go ahead with your turn.
So Salem's Fire burn you. And I'm going to try and Sacred Flame him. So he has to do a DC 14 Dexterity save.
Dexterity, here you go. A 16.
He succeeds.
He manages to get the
and
cudgel in the
I
way
believe
and
Sacred Flame does
block the
nothing.
projectile, yeah.
Yeah.
Shutters off as soon as the battle stands. Yep.
Then, there's not a lot of maneuvering room here.
No, there's not.
I will go ahead and move to here.
Okay.
And I think that will be my turn.
Okay. Aya.
Okay, I'm gonna pick my shield up,
Mm-hmm.
and with the Durst sword, I'm gonna attack him. I'm gonna swing it. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit. It manages to leave the cudgel in the way, and a sword just clinks against the handle of the cudgel, and he pushes it back. Unfortunately blocked. Yeah.
I can't remember. Are we doing flanking or not? I don't remember.
We are. Even a 16 does not hit. Yes.
16.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's my turn.
Okay. Connell.
Okay, yeah, Connell's just gonna rush and just kind of like try and bite at his leg just to try and maybe knock it.
Sure thing.
Here, forward, pack tactics, so he'll get advantage.
Sure. With a growl, he lunges forward, attempting a little proning maneuver. Go ahead and roll it. And 22 hits.
22.
22 hits.
7.
His bite so strong it actually managed to dent the metal, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll that strength to see if he manages to stay on his feet. Barely managing to stay on his feet, nonetheless, it is quite the hit on it for 7 piercing damage. As it begins to lose some of its form, you see some of that familiar mist start to seep from between the plates of its armor, bleeding out. Novark will follow up attack if you so wish.
Yeah, he'll follow up with another shot. 22.
22 hits again. One arrow after the other, knocking them with a rapid fire maneuver. Go ahead and roll the damage.
4 damage and then +2 for the fighting style archery.
Sweet. As the second arrow hits it in the abdominal, you begin to see some of its armor begin to slip and fall. Nonetheless, it retains the hold on its cudgel. It following Samson and kind of trying to get out of between you guys. It will attempt to slam your shield in twice. Samson does a 15 hit.
No.
I don't think so. No. The shield maintains as it continues on slamming it. You can go ahead and retaliate.
Hey, I will go ahead and say, really, I meant for you to burn, and I will Sacred Flame.
Okay, that's dexterity again. Natural 20.
Oh my god.
The mist kind of concentrated within its form and burst out, like extinguishing that flame altogether, and then swirl and reconcentrate about its form.
And really, there's no point in trying to shove it around, and I'm already providing maximum advantage, so yeah, I'm just going to kind of square off with my shield ready and go, come on, let's get this over with, and then end my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna attack him again with the longsword.
Sure thing.
Go back to the realm of death. Okay.
A
Oh
14
my
again.
gosh.
The sword still awkward for you to get used to its balance. You try and get it between the plates, but don't hit quite right. It bounces off the armor. With that, if that's the end of your turn, Connell, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Connell's basically still got his leg in his movement. It's just still crunching down.
Try and prone him if you wish, yeah. Even with a 9, unfortunately, no, but the grip is maintained, giving you an opening if you wish to.
Yep. Just got to go with another arrow. 22.
You just rolling 22s left and right. Go ahead and roll damage. And 11.
Piercing
is-
+2 on the. Oh,
On its last legs, it is essentially down to like 1 HP. Its form begins to melt away as it begins to desperately look around, and it will attempt to toss Connell over the railing. Just give it a good kick. It's gonna go ahead and roll a strength of 10.
Whoa.
If you don't mind, just like contesting it with Connell, however, like dexterity or strength, pick one. To see if he manages to either maintain hold or like, fly, but like manage to like land on his feet. Yeah. Just kicking him off. He manages to like land on his feet as the adamant armor just attempts to slam Aya, turn her around with a cudgel. But again, distracted by the wolf, it rolls a natural 1, unable to maintain itself. Not expecting so many adventurers to enter at the same time. Samson, go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity.
Oh. Let's try this again. Sacred Flame.
Okay, cool.
Please don't fail me this time.
He's too fast.
Too distracted by the wolf and the flanking maneuver of you guys, finally he manages to fail to Sacred Flame, taking an 8 radiant. Go ahead, how do you want to do this?
I think that basically the Sacred Flame is just going to kind of melt his helmet, and it's going to kind of fall in Avon, and then he's going to collapse with just the helmet kind of melted away.
The rest
And
of the
in
armor
and-
just rolling onto the floor, inanimate.
Yep.
Neat. The ancient thing is put to rest, for now.
I didn't like that for now.
Yes. Well, that was a very interesting thing. I think we should probably take our be quiet a little bit more seriously.
yeah.
Samson, are you feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I'm gonna
You barely grazed me.
look here. I'm gonna heal myself 8 points with lay hands. So I put hand on my chest. I'm guessing my wounds are starting to heal.
As you put on the healing on yourself and you kind of exhale in relief of this being over, you lean against the wall and it pushes you. Exactly where you're standing against that wall is another secret passage.
Oh. Let's see where it leads.
It leads to a cobweb-filled wooden staircase leading up to the attic. I am going to go ahead and just... The mechanism that held it like latched closed has long rotted away, and the door just simply swings open.
Should we clear this floor before heading up there?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly.
Probably. I would like to go and open the door that is this way.
Sure. You open the door, and I'll describe to you what you see. Dursthaus number 14. Dusty shelves.
Well,
One thing at a time. Dusty shelves line the walls of this room. A few of the shelves have folded sheets, blankets, and old bars of soap on them. A cobweb-covered broom leans against the far wall, but upon you opening the door, it animates to life and backs away toward the door, and you can see the wood handle like shiver. Samson, you still there?
Well, it says
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be saying something.
Okay.
I don't know what. Nothing meaningful, really.
This seems to be some sort of a
Okay.
storage room for the staff to get blankets and soap out. But
Yep.
the broom is a curiosity. Seems to be animated somehow.
Well, hello, broom. I would like to try and mage hand to bring it towards me, which
Uh,
I'm assuming doesn't work because it's an animated creature.
roll me like your strength. I'll just use your strength for the spell versus its. No, you bring it over. It doesn't have much energy to it as you kind of telepathically bring it over to you. It tries to fly away all the while, but you manage to bring it over to you.
Well, can I just reach out and grab it?
Yeah, it's like vibrating in your hand, trying to get out, but like you manage to easily pull it in. It doesn't have much force to it left.
I will do that and kind of walk back here with it in my hand.
Yeah.
Seems to be scared. Although, how I don't know, an animated object or an animated object is scared. I don't quite know. Any ideas?
Is he trying to fly to a specific point or just everywhere?
It's currently in Samson's grasp, if you're asking me.
But like, he's trying to escape to a point. I mean,
the force of a pull is toward the closet, if that's what Simon's feeling in,
Okay. Try to talk to it. Maybe you can relax it.
I don't want to hurt you, Broom.
It stops resisting, and it kind of flexes and begins to like lower itself down toward the floor, and still in your hand, it just does what it does best, and just begins like sweeping in one spot.
I will let it go.
It remains near you, sweeping the floor very aimlessly in one spot, not gathering dust anywhere, just kind of sort of making a clean spot for itself, and then it settles there, upright.
Well, I suppose probably at one point the owners of this house decided to try and save on labor, and the enchantments are probably stretched well beyond whatever they were originally intended to do. So I'd like to, I think, just kind of walk around the room and do a quick search of the closet to see if there's anything beyond normal house supplies in there.
Storage rooms, soaps, bars. I mean, useful by their own. Blankets and such. All of them some of them bearing the crest of the Dursthaus embroidered onto them. There's a small iron stove with. Sorry, I'm really reading the wrong room. I was like, where's the iron stove review? Sorry. The storage room contains like bars of soap and folded sheets. Nothing else of note. Besides the animated room.
Well, there doesn't seem to be anything particularly interesting in there. You suppose we push the broom back in, close the door, and move on to the next room?
Yes. My unseen servant is gonna pick the weapon of the skeleton, and he cannot pick it, but he's gonna drag it all around.
Which skeleton? Sorry, the animated.
The one with, animated armor.
Yeah, it's not a skeleton. It's just like a suit of armor animated by some force. There's no bones within. The weapon, the cudgel, it will drag it. It will not be able to like lift it because strength 2. It's quite a hefty thing, but yeah, it's essentially lifted by the handle and dragging around. Sure.
Yeah.
Able to maneuver it around, but not attack with it for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm just wanted to keep it away from the suit, just in case.
Sure.
I would like to kind of nudge the broom back into its cupboard gently, and then close the door on it.
You nudge it toward the room, and as you begin closing the door, it does that thing that dogs do, where they shove their nose between the door frame and the door, and if you continue pushing the door, it will eventually remove its head. But it's like, okay.
I think it wants to come with us, Samson.
Yeah, I will not close the door on the animated room.
Oh, he pushes its way back outside and just assumes back that position, hopping about.
Seems like you have your own pet.
Yeah.
Okay, well then.
The raven just
Yeah,
you
flutters
wanna
over and
head-
like lands on like the top of the broom and there.
Oh, beautiful.
For the sake of story, we'll continue following Samson.
Yeah, I mean, Connell gets weird looks, but you're gonna get weirder.
Right. I'm assuming you want to push that door at your thingy?
Yes, the one at the south.
Sure. Pushing that open, you come across what looks to be some sort of a bathroom. The dark room contains a wooden tub with clawed feet, a small iron stove with a kettle resting on top of it, supposedly for boiling hot water, and a barrel under a spigot in the wall. A cistern on the roof used to collect rainwater, which was borne down to a pipe to the spigot. However, the plumbing doesn't look like it no longer works. This is but a bathroom. You can take things from it, obviously, if you want to, but this is pretty much what you see. Yes.
There is no mirror. I would like to check the doors, but
There is no mirror.
the doors,
here.
the walls. Sorry.
And checking the walls, this is indeed the other side of that, the hollowing that you kind of heard before when knocking. The wood paneling on the side, on the inner side of the house is thin, and the other wall is made from brick. No secret doors, and there's a slight indentation where the chimney is for the stove, but aside from that, seems to be like a regular bathroom. Eerily enough, the bathtub on the inside seems to be rusted. No, it's blood.
There is blood in the bathtub. You say?
Yeah, as you take time to investigate, to kind of run your fingers against the side of the bathtub wall, and what you thought was rust first is indeed old, blackened blood. Smears red between your fingers.
Something's awful happening here. I try to wash it with the wall a little bit.
The plumbing, with the wall just smearing it, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep, you leave streaks of red on the wall, but adding to the eeriness of this place, but yeah. The rest of you, I'm guessing.
Anything interesting?
Sorry, Samson. What did you say?
Anything interesting in there, eh?
No. Well, this bathtub is full of blood. Looks like someone died in here, or people used to pour blood in it for some reason.
Interesting.
I mean, assuming with the letter we read, maybe they used the bathroom for something sinister?
Perhaps. But blood, liquid blood, or is it dry?
It's dried. There is no
Okay.
trace of any liquid. It's old, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Well, at least that makes sense with our understanding right now that this house has been abandoned for quite some time.
Shall we try to see this room before going upstairs?
We have that room, and then we also have the one over here to try. But yes, let's go ahead and try the room that we're standing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pushing the double set of doors, you come upon a large master suite. The double doors to this room have dusty panes of stained glass set into them. Designs in the glass resemble windmills. The dusty, cobweb-filled master bedroom has burgundy drapes covering the windows. Furnishings include a 4-poster bed with embroidered curtains and tattered gossamer veils, a matching pair of empty wardrobes, a vanity with a wood-framed mirror, and a jewelry box, as well as a padded chair in front of it. You're standing upon a rotting tiger skin rug that lies on the floor in front of the fireplace, which has dust-covered. The fireplace has a dust-covered portrait of Gustav and Elizabeth Durst hanging above it. A web-filled parlor in the southwest corner contains a table with 2 chairs. Resting on a dusty tablecloth is an empty porcelain bowl and a matching jug. I can keep going, but there's a lot of this room, so stop me if anything piques your interest.
I want to check the desk.
Sure. Disturbing enough, as you step in front of the mirror, you look upon your reflection. You have no face. You can't breathe. You can't see. Panic begins to settle. What do? Those of you looking at Aya, she turns her head and there's no face.
I start moving the hands, like pointing to the group.
You hear muffled noises coming from with the no face.
And I'm pointing to my neck and trying, like, choking myself with the hand.
The hell?
I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and cast Detect Magic. Actual cast. Get that up and running.
The mirror is magical, and the thread seems to latch directly onto her face, linking the two. The source of the magic being transmutation.
Well, I don't have a way to dispel magic, but if the mirror is magic,
Break it.
perhaps breaking it? That's the best I have right now. I will go ahead and use my shield to try kind of shield bash.
Dealing damage with shield, what would that be like? Roll me like a 1d8 plus strength. You bash. The mirror seems a little bit more resistant to normal glass. Nonetheless, you begin cracking it, and where you crack it, a crack works its way across Era's reflection, and you look and you begin to see blood stream across her face, where in like a matching pattern to the crack. You take 6 damage, Era.
Okay.
Magic is magical, but
Okay.
We'll try and
Don't
take it
break
down
that,
and turn
okay.
it around. So it's no longer facing her? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I will just. I will step. Or I will step. Or I will grab Aya and pull backwards, trying to move over to here away from the mirror.
what are you doing with the mirror?
Trying
Sorry?
to break line of. I'm trying to pull Aya away from the mirror, trying to break line of sight. Because I have no way to dispel things right now.
The face is still
I'm assuming that
remains blank as you pull her away. Blood continues to streak from where you've wounded her by this effect.
Oh, this is not good. I will.
You see the connection?
I see a connection. I will kind of show where it is. Damaging the mirror damages Aya.
I mean, what happens if you just try to, like, cut through that connection? I don't understand magic, so, like, if you just try
It's not physical.
While you're able to maintain your breath
hand.
for this long, it begins to be quite uncomfortable. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
We don't like that one.
Yeah. What's your Constitution? I'm checking it right now. Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Oh.
You begin to run out of breath.
I will go ahead and start inspecting the mirror,
It's cracked. You
trying to
can
find
see
something.
something leaking out of it, some form of foul mist or magic source. Your reflection has a face, although it is, because of the crack, distorted. You've damaged the mirror, and the damage still retains.
Yeah. Okay. I will quickly open the jewelry box and say, by grabbing the tiger, no, my face would have triggered it. We could move it off of that.
Opening the jewelry box,
Yeah, I'll just.
I mean, as she's got some breath, you see on the vanity is made of the jewelry box itself is made of silver and gold filigree. It contains 3 gold rings and a thin platinum necklace with a topaz pendant. All of those look quite expensive. I don't know what you're looking for though.
I was hoping for papers of some sort,
Papers?
something to explain what's going on, something to give a clue of how this mirror works, because I do not have a clue.
It may. I know this sounds horrible, but it may be a case that you'll just need to smash it until the thing breaks. I know it's going to hurt her like fuck, but I don't know. It just depends how resistant that fucking mirror is.
Okay. Can I do something?
You are unable to speak, blinded, and deafened, but you can do everything else, yes.
Okay, I wanna try to command my unseen servant. Because I can hear, right?
You are deafened.
Deafened. Oh,
It
no.
is a terrifying blackness that takes you, yes.
Yeah, then I don't know anything. Yeah.
I mean, you can still command your servant to do whatever you want, but like you can't hear. You just felt a sharp pain across your face as everything went black.
Okay, I wanna command the servant to grab the sheet of the bed and cover the mirror.
You see the sheet of bed begin to lift up and throw itself, the cudgel dropping, because it can only hold like one item at a time, and it goes over the mirror. Go ahead and roll me like a wisdom save.
Wisdom?
Yes.
Oh my, what's going on today?
Whatever curse is taking you retains, and you begin to suffocate essentially at this point as time dwindles down. Minute passes. What'd you guys do?
The mirror is now covered.
It is.
Uh, I will just try and grab Aya and bring her out and try and start bringing her down the stairs to try and get distance between her and the mirror.
You feel a tug on your hand as somebody's tugging you in a direction. Novak, you're left in a room with this mirror.
Should I follow, or something is pulling me inside?
Something has grabbed your hand and is pulling you. Whether to follow or not is your choice.
It's pulling me... Okay. Now I get it. Okay, I'm following the hand that is pulling me.
It's a cold to the touch hand.
Yeah. And at this point, I would be racking my brains for anything related to this, because I have no clue. I don't have any type of dispelling abilities currently. And so I'm trying to come up with any way to actually counteract this without dispel magic available.
Wait. I don't know if I would know this, but this is a silly trick. I don't know if I'd know this. Is there another mirror in the bathroom?
No.
No.
But good thinking.
Yeah.
I thought the same.
Yeah.
I just remember the horror movie I saw once.
Alright, at this point I'm going to start giving actions to each because I'm counting rounds. Because at this point, AI is suffocating.
Yeah.
So starting with Novark. What you thinking? I'm slowing down time here.
Is the Is the mirror just literally hanging there, up there? On
It is. It's cracked. It's covered. It's seeping out mist from the cracks, and you see that where the cloth touches the crack, now it begins to like stain red.
But if you tried to like take the mirror off the wall, could you?
Yeah, you can certainly try. The mirror is on the wall. It's attached to the vanity, but it's on a flimsy set of like wooden attachments. If you would try, yeah, it just
Oh, wait.
what?
He's going to investigate around the desk itself to see if he can see any markings.
On the walls? No, the room while disheveled, the desk has not been moved a lot.
On,
There's no...
like,
Yeah.
even on the mirror, and like just basically, like, 'cause you said it's a vanity table,
Yes.
so it's attached to the table itself.
Yes, by like.
So yeah, he's looking around, looking under it, trying to see if there's any like hidden markings within the wood.
Like magical glyphs and such? No, you don't find any, but the object is clearly cursed or magical of some sort, yes.
Right, so right, she's right. Well, it seemed like trying to break the mirror. Then he's just going to try and break the mirror off the vanity table.
With hitting it with
Just pure strength in this case.
just a fist?
Yeah, it's just trying to break it off the table.
What's your strength modifier?
It's not that good. Why is my card? It's 0.
It's 0?
Oh wait, modify. Yeah.
Like, what's the small number? 0?
Yes.
You deal
I will-
one bludgeoning damage, the mirror cracks some more, and from across the room you can hear the punch land upon the meat of Aya's face. Samson, you look upon her and you see an impact and then a bruising on the flesh. As Aya takes 1 bludgeoning damage.
No, I meant the wood, not the mirror itself.
Oh, okay. Belay that. It just cracks off the vanity and it's now in your hands.
So nothing changed.
I
I mean, he's currently thinking maybe it's the vanity itself by breaking the vanity, cracking the wood.
Yeah, you cracked it. You cracked it off the desk, but the mirror is still, while cracked, it's still whole in its frame, right? So.
Yeah, so he's without breaking the glass, he's just going to try and pick the wood off the thing just to separate it completely. I mean, if it's old, it should be relatively easy.
Samson, are you doing anything all this while just because I'm doing rounds?
I will go ahead and thinking a mirror caused this. Maybe a mirror could fix this. I will pull out the steel mirror that I have in my gear, and I will hold it up to Aya's face.
Aya, roll me a wisdom save, please.
Sure.
Slowly, features begin to form upon Aya's face, but the mark remains scarred, still bleeding. You feel the mirror in your hands, Novark, grow cold, cooling. You catch your breath, Aya, as the orifice of the nose and mouth begins to form back up.
I'm doing something to stop it. It's undoing. I've got a mirror on my side. I might not be looking at that mirror in a minute.
He's holding it. It's still covered, so he's not looking into it himself.
Right. It feels cold to the touch, but aside from that, you hear the gasping breaths of Aya as her face and features and ears return. That's
So
creepy.
the moment-
Somebody just walked up to my door and pushed a letter bin, like under the door, and I'm like, that's super creepy when you're running Curse of Strahd. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I will say the moment I see all of Aya back,
Yeah.
that mirror is being pointed straight down, away from her immediately.
Okay, I want
the face remains, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm more concerned that I potentially just trapped whatever affected Aya in my mirror now, and so I now have a potentially very bad thing.
You all too smart.
Samson, stop! Cover it.
Okay.
Maybe
Nice.
we can use it.
The mirror,
Somehow.
the mirror I'm holding, is it got anything on the back of it? Like the mirror itself?
Like on the back of the mirror on back face.
Yeah. Or is it like another mirror?
No, it's like a wooden
A
backing.
wooden thing.
Yeah, wooden
Nothing
backing.
on the back of it at all.
No, no message, no nothing. But
Then what?
again,
He
again,
walks to the corner and just like puts it facing the
facing.
wall.
That's good. That's very good. Good thinking. I don't want to be like, oh, you find nothing. That's really good thinking. It just unfortunately it's just blank face, but you put it against the wall and there's no reflection, obviously. Yeah.
So, question: my mirror that I just used to undo the curse on a does that now have magic in it? Is that now showing up as magic from detect magic?
It does.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that pointing down and get out the rest of the tattered clothes that the common clothes that I had built my makeshift arm guards from, and wrap the mirror with that and put it back in my bag once secured.
Could you just right beside that mirror in your inventory in brackets add faceless malice? Just so in the future I know
Okay.
what it is. You'll tell me faceless malice and I'll know exactly what I'm looking for. All right. Aside, like your face returns aside from the scar from the upper forehead across your nose and down to your chin in a crack-like motion. It has clotted by this point, but it's it's a ghastly sight. Aside from
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a pretty long breath. Did
Well,
you?
Samson's checks are in. Novar's just going to kind of look around the bed area, around the closets, just see if he can find anything.
Sure.
Look at the cupboards.
The vanity box still lays open with jewelry within it. You go around to inspect. The bed looks like it fit two people with veils to keep things private in the various cupboards. Let me see if you find anything. Because I have two alternative things here. Give me 2 seconds. Just a lot. Okay. You find in one of the drawers a letter that has not been sent. It reads, "My dear Mrs. Petrovna, your advice on dealing with the unwanted fiend in my home is quite good advice indeed. Tonight's ceremony will proceed as planned when the moon is at its highest peak, without, of course, the attendance of Mr. Durst. I must agree with you that, with the assistance of such remarkably innocent subjects, the result of our proceedings may be far improved. Innocent, of course, is not quite a term I would use. If nothing else, I am relieved that I shall soon no longer have to suffer the harlot's insufferable presence each time we must pass through her quarters to our meeting place. We shall be rid of her indeed. My thanks, Mrs. Elizabeth Durst." You turn around, closing the letter, and jump. Before you, hanging from a makeshift noose tied beside the bed, is a body, male, dressed in fine clothes, hanging right behind you, right here.
Yeah, he just steps back instantly just towards this table, just keep him away from it. Not sure where the fuck it just came from.
Connell just growls. Yeah.
So, do you make sound?
Yeah, he just calls out Samson.
I will make my way in. Maybe.
Sure. Making your way inside.
Can't use the arrow keys to move during. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a little token here. The ghastly thing, dressed in fine clothes, hanging on a noose tied beside the bed, is where I marked it. It's in,
Okay.
yeah.
Scan with detect magic. I'm assuming no,
It's just a cadaver
it's
clutched.
just a normal body.
Yeah, it seems genuine.
Well, at least it's not magical.
Small piece of
Don't
parchment is
suppose it
clutched
looks like
in his
the.
right hand. Yeah, sorry.
I don't suppose it looks like the father from the pictures.
Even though it's a
Uh,
cadaver and rigor mortis has already
Dursthaus.
settled in and it's all gaunt-like, you can clearly recognize that this is the body of Mr. Durst.
Well, I suppose I should get him down.
As you do so,
Um,
the stiff body
and
laying down.
I will stand up on the bed, come down.
You see, as I mentioned before, a small piece of parchment clutched in Mr. Durst's right hand, held tight by a rigor mortis.
I'd like to try and gently remove the piece of paper from his hand.
Sure. The bones crack, but, gently you remove the parchment. It reads,
Yeah.
My beloved children, I wish I could do what all fathers do and tell you that monsters aren't real, but it wouldn't be the truth. Life can create things of exquisite beauty, but it can also twist them into hideous beings. Selfish, violent, grotesque, monstrous. It hurts me to say that your mother has turned into one such monster, inside and out. And I'm afraid the disease that afflicted her mind has taken hold of me as well. It sickens me to think what we've put you through. There is no excuse. I only asked, though I know I have not the right to do so, that you try to forgive me, forgive us. I despise what your mother has become, but I love and pity her all the same. Rose, I wish I could see you blossom into a young, strong, beautiful woman. Thorn and Walter, I wish I could be there for you, but I can't. This is the only way. Goodbye.
Oh,
Well, looks like he may have had a change of heart, although too late to fully change. At least he tried to. At least he thought of his children. I will go over back to the jewelry box and pick those things, pick up the items. Do any of them read as magic?
No, but they look quite
Or are they just
expensive. They're like
wealthy?
noble people's jewelry. The box itself is made of gold filigree and silver. Would sell for quite a lot, and 3 rings each would probably sell for a fetch of pretty penny. The necklace, the thin one, is made for platinum. A very, very expensive metal with a topaz at the center of the pendant, which again.
What about this
Yeah.
stuff here on the table?
What was it? On tablecloth, like it's a porcelain bowl and a matching jug. Mundane containers made of porcelain might be useful if you are, creative, but they don't look like they're bejeweled or bedazzled or ornate.
So I will take that whole jewel box and put it in my bag. I might be able to get some resources out of this. Perhaps be able to provide more to other sides of things.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yes.
Novart would also hand the letter that he got to Samson. You keep hold of this.
Okay.
For the sake of things, I'm just
I will
going to
go.
put a body here. Just to remind me.
Yep.
And there was nothing in these cupboards when he checked, just a letter.
It's just the letter that I've described before, yes.
I want to remove
It
the
seems
curtains.
that you guys are not the first ones to venture in this house. You're not sure if they survived or not, but a few thieves have managed to rummage through the cupboards and take whatever was there, if there was anything. That's a possibility.
Huh.
So, should we check the other room?
Is this a door?
What is? Sorry, what did you point at? I was looking at it. Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It's a small opening. It is some sort of. You know what a dumbwaiter is?
Yeah.
Like it's in the corner, it has a button on the wall next to it. It's dumbwaiter. It's pulley system with a platform.
Door here.
Yeah, sure. That is.
Oh, wait, more doors.
It's. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's a closet. It is. Yeah, a dust-choked closet.
Nothing interesting.
No, and I hate.
Great.
I hate rooms like this, but I'm sorry. Like, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Well, there's a dumbwaiter over there, but I don't think any of us fancy getting in it and riding it down to
I think
the
I could
kitchens
fit.
or worse. Yes. We should probably go out and check the other side.
Right. Whoever takes the lead.
I love these doors that I can't actually move through via using the arrow keys.
I'm sorry. It's mostly
It's fine.
to contain monster. Hey, freeze where you're at. Fuck. You just move through doors, aren't you? Just go in. Dust and cobwebs shroud an elegantly appointed bedroom here, and you can see it is adjointed by some sort of a nursery. A double set of doors set with panes of stained glass. You can see through them. There's an overlooking to the front of the house and the street beyond. This bedroom seems to have once belonged to the family's nursemaid, you would guess, just from the uniform laying on the bed and the proximity to the nursery. There's a large bed, 2 end tables with an empty wardrobe. Mounted on the wall next to the wardrobe is a full-length mirror with an ornate wooden frame carved to look like ivy and berries. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. More obvious than anything, and I'll cut to chase. A spectral figure with its back turned to you, Blair Witches in the corner, and seems to be adorned in the same uniform lying on the bed, but spectral.
I will be kind of one step behind Aya, I think.
Is being attacking us or
No, she's. You know what Blair Witching is? She's staring at the corner of the corner of the room, and seems to be like rocking from side to side, not saying anything. Very ethereal. The picture is misleading. It's just the picture I have, but it's of a young-looking woman in a maid's dress or like some sort of a uniform, and she's facing her with her back towards you, rocking from side to side.
I try
Basically
to
that.
sense I'm wanna like signal with my hand, like going backwards. I'll try to move backwards.
As you move backwards, room is stealth,
Still,
please. Are you wearing heavy armor?
oh, of course.
Disadvantage.
14.
You step backwards and you begin to hear the creak of one of the floorboards, but you manage to lift your foot and step elsewhere. The specter does not react to you retreating. Seem to have dodged the bullet there.
Okay.
As you step, Samson, what are you doing?
What's going on, Aya?
I whisper to you like there is a ghost in the corner.
Oh. Okay, we want to try and talk.
You wanna talk to it?
Not great at that, but I'll try and at least offer it some peace.
Okay, I'll support you. Okay.
Okay, and I will make my way further into the room.
Samson, roll me stealth, just with disadvantage.
Oh, sorry, I'm not trying to stealth. I'm walking in saying,
Oh, okay.
hello.
You step in, you say hello. There's a creak of a floorboard. You step, and very slowly, a spectral thing turns her youthful face to face you. Her eyes are sad, and when she turns her body, you can see stab wounds upon her chest, upon her clavicle, multiple ones, fatal wounds from when she was back alive. She looks at you, and just goes, "Hush! Don't wake the baby."
The baby. You mean Walter?
The child sleeps
Wait.
soundly.
That's good. We talked to Rose and Thorn outside. They seemed worried about him.
He's doing fine. He's just over there, sleeping. She points toward the door behind Aya.
This okay.
Yeah, the door's over
Is
behind her.
here. Okay. I'm gonna try to pry it open.
No, hush. You'll wake it. You look
Okay.
upon her terrified, skeletal, thin face. She begins to step forward if you don't let go of the handle, essentially.
Yeah, I let it go.
Hush.
Okay. I
To
think
you. I take it the people here went somewhat mad.
It wasn't their fault. It was mine, really. The master of the house and I had an affair. It led to the birth of the child. He was so beautiful. But my mistress, she did not agree with happenings. She never liked me, but after that day, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I died that night. I still remember it. Those cold chambers. But, at the very least, I remain here with my baby.
why don't you go and rest in another plane or in heaven?
There's no rest for our souls, not here. There's no escape in life nor in death. I'm just simply here, awaiting. It's a cycle. All of it is a cycle. We are born, we die, we're born again. Manifestations of our Lord's prison.
You mean this house?
This
Or
house, this
this
land,
land?
this whole reach. For he is the ancient, he is the land.
Would you like to rest? Like leave this place and be happy with your baby and not in more pain and more sadness.
I would like nothing more. But it has been so long. What hope is there? I am content here. It is my punishment for what I've done.
It was too
How long does
severe.
your punishment last? How long has your punishment lasted? How long should your punishment last? After all,
I suppose...
is what you did really so unforgivable?
I suppose it wouldn't be that long. I mean, how long has it been? A few months?
No. It's been years.
She seems troubled
Many
by the information.
years.
I don't understand. It was just an affair of the heart. Do I truly deserve all this?
No one deserved a punishment like this.
He loved
You
me,
think
you know.
that-
She looks toward the bed where her uniform lays. Her eyes full of memories.
Of course, and it was not a mistake. Would you say your baby is a mistake?
The affair was a mistake.
But not your baby.
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Leave me.
Who was the affair with?
She mentioned that she had an affair with the master of the house, which can be none other than Mr. Durst.
Out of curiosity, what's going on? What's in the basement? The children, Rose and Thorn, seemed concerned about the basement. They were trying to come and find Walter, except they were too scared of whatever's down there.
This house holds many secrets. Cults practicing dark magics have come to the house. I never dared venture there, and I've only been there once, on my last day alive. They killed me upon that altar. I remember the chanting. I remember the cold steel of the blade. I remember her cruel smile as she looked into my eyes as I drew my last breath. I will show you, but I warn you, it is a dark place, full of evil.
Where there is darkness, there is also light, and I will cast light on my hand to make it glow.
You will find the entrance to that place by my body. She shimmers out of view.
Okay.
Well, I suppose I'd rather not try that door that she was concerned about you opening.
Yeah, I won't open it. I don't want to disturb her.
So, the door next to me, I will go ahead and try and open that.
Sure. Past the set of double doors that's kind of like ornamented with a glass pane, you open it, and you breathe in semi-fresh air. As you step past the threshold and look about, you can see it's a balcony overlooking the front of the house and the Strait of Valaki. There is a crowd gathered, on the street, commoners and guards alike. And upon you opening, some of them shudder back and look at you with awe. Some of them make like gestures of faith, of protection. Some of the guards are working to like keep the crowd back, and they're all looking at you.
I will turn back. Apparently, we've made somewhat of a scene. And I will just kind of awkwardly wave at people.
You awkwardly wave at people, and from around your shoulder, a broom begins to wave as well at the people. Some people are just staring hard. Other ones are like awkwardly, like they're mortified, but they're fascinated.
They need to know the ending. I get it.
I will step back inside. We seem to have drawn a crowd.
Great.
The guards are keeping people away. Hopefully they're not too angry.
Well, won't be the first time I get arrested.
I ain't going back to the box.
Well,
Worth noting.
hopefully
Worth
it'll
noting.
be the first time I'm arrested.
So, Spooky Bitch still in the corner.
What was that?
Is she still in the corner?
No, the spectre has faded after relieving her last message. Something compelled her to leave, or she was not able to sustain herself, or maybe she's confused. I mean, it has been eons, and this thing is not.
Sorry about that. I just got a knock on my door.
Yep.
So,
What's up?
shall we see? Oops, do you wanna check the room?
Yeah, I suppose we might as well.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it, but go
Let's
ahead.
be very quiet. I will use Mage Hand to very slowly open the door.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my, okay.
You open the door, and it creaks open, half expecting a reaction from Ghost to come back. Nothing happens, though.
Yeah.
As you open the door, you see, I'm reading, an adjoining nursery. The nursery contains a crib covered with a hanging black shroud.
A black, sir?
Black. It's a crib and a black shroud.
Yeah.
On top of it.
I will step inside and look at the shroud, knowing what I'm going to see.
You pull the shroud, parting it,
Right.
and you see a tightly wrapped, baby-sized bundle lying on the crib.
I will put the shroud back and I will take out 2 copper pieces and lay them on where the eyes would be. And say a prayer.
When you finish the prayer, you hear a whisper back, ethereal, back of your mind. Thank you. That's it.
I will step out. Oh, I know what happened to Walter. We were
Do you think
far too late.
Do you think this one was Walter? This baby?
Yes.
I mean, the amount of time that's probably passed, it was.
I'm not completely
That's my-
sure of that. Like, it sounds like it was the baby of the mistress. In the family
Yes.
portrait, there were 3 kids, and for
Yes.
how she spoke about the madam of the house, I doubt that she will allow another woman's baby to be in her portrait as his family.
Suppose I was looking at it more as a
Sorry, I just opened that for myself.
standpoint. Yep, I was looking at it as avoid what do we call it? Scandal.
Yeah.
So I suppose we have 2 options. We can head down to the first floor and check out the rooms there, or we can head to the attic.
I will say go to the attic.
May as well head out. Well, me check first. I'll see if I can.
Raven on top of
see
the room goes,
anything.
attic!
It seems
Of course.
he seems pretty wise, this Raven.
Yes.
Wise.
Yes, he does.
Like, I can slowly go up and see if I can check. Like, try not make a sound.
But if you think you can do that, then absolutely we can give that a shot.
Yeah, so. No
But
worries.
also, since I would have had detect magic up, nothing pinged in that room, right?
No, I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. No, nothing
Okay.
pinged, but you're certain that nothing is hidden. Yep. Right. I'm gonna bunch you all up into one spot real quick, just so I can teleport you.
Yeah, Novarg would just slowly move up on his own first.
Sure, go ahead and roll me like stealth as you maneuver up, just so I can have like a passive skill check.
Sure.
And you guys are over yonder. I'll go ahead and delete your old tokens. And the animated broom and your crow companion will follow along. Okay.
I have collected a pet.
Oh yeah, door. I keep forgetting there's like so many sealed doors in this place. Alright. This bare hall is choked with dust and cobwebs. There are several doors leading all over the place. Really, just pick one and I'll let you know what's beyond them.
Okay, well,
Okay.
first they would be looking directly ahead. Wait. So, is that a door here, or is it like an open door?
Yeah, right in front of you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
just right here.
Oh no, that's a window.
Oh, it's one door right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah, if you step one forward, I think you'll see the hall and doors that were being talked about.
yeah, I see them there.
It's choked with dust. This place has been. The higher up you go up this house, the more desolate it is. At this point, like the floor does bear a few like missing spots in that. But there's nobody in this hallway. Just several doors. The one that has a little dot on it over yonder has a lock on, like a padlock across the beam upon it.
Samson, does your key match this lock?
Okay, mage hand key out of or I'll pull the key out of the pouch it was in, mage hand key out towards the lock, and try and insert the key. It probably will take me one or two tries because I'm not necessarily an expert in that.
Inserting key, it fits perfectly.
Take it is. Question is, do we look through, do we go here first, or do we go check the other rooms? Well, this is still locked, so we have some assurances that nothing's going to come up behind us.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Can do.
So I'll pull the key out of the lock again with Mage Hand. Which side room do we want to do first to make sure we're not going to get surprised by anything?
Oh, the one that would be directly behind us right here.
Okay.
So it just nudges it open.
This dust-choked room contains a slender bed, a nightstand, a small iron stove, a writing desk with a stool, an empty wardrobe, and a rocking chair. Just keeping an eye about as you stealthily maneuver inside the seemingly empty room. You note a face staring at you, which makes you jump a little bit, but you note that it is that of a smiling doll in a lacy yellow dress that sits in the northern window box, cobwebs draping it like a wedding dress.
Yeah. Novar just indicates Samson, just come down and look at this fucking doll. He is not approaching.
It is eerie as fuck.
Yeah, no, in general, I hate fucking porcelain dolls. IRL. I fucking Despise them.
When you're like, oh, it's a perfect date, and you walk over to like their place and like you like go to the bedroom, it's like it's all dolls. It's like, no,
Oh, no.
why this?
Oh no, my mother
Yeah,
used to have
they-
loads of them.
Yep, I know people who have them and who have. It's never.
The thing is, right, do you know what porcelain dolls are actually for, what they were originally used for? The reason their heads are hollow is because they were used to capture lost spirits. It was to give them a vessel to go into.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's terrible. That explains why they're so creepy.
My mum had a 4-foot one. It's almost, my father used to move it around the house at night. Right, back to it. Sorry.
All right. So, does the doll moves when we get inside or something?
No, it's still eerie. It's draped in cobwebs and it's leaning against the windowsill, long abandoned. You're not sure whose spare room this was, but perhaps a child's.
I would like to check the cabinet. And hopefully there is no mirrors inside.
You open the cabinet and find no glint of a mirror. However, as you pull the second cabinet door open, something skittles across your arm and then like falls to the floor. A spider.
That's right. Okay.
Most of the cupboards here are empty. Again, it seems that other people have been here before you, robbed the place, and not sure whether they made it out or not, but they have taken things from these rooms.
Oh. I will go ahead and first detect magic doll is not magic.
No, the only
Just-
notable thing about
Just
the doll, it
very
has
creepy.
a little tag on its leg.
I will go ahead and read the tag.
It reads, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky."
Oh. It's a Blinsky toy.
Collect them all.
I didn't know it was something. Well, this room looks pretty normal, I think.
Not detecting any magic from that fucking doll.
No, thankfully not.
No, the doll seems perfectly inert.
Broom hops over, gives
Although-
a few dustings.
I will give the broom a light pat. Basically trying to say, good job. You're trying.
It keeps on trying. It keeps on swooping around the room, cleaning as it goes, like a Roomba.
Maybe if this is the doll of Rose, it will appease her spirit if we see them again.
Maybe. I seem to have annoyed her when I tried to reassure them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab the doll.
Sure. It leaves a little dust mark where it sat, but otherwise it is in your position. A little smiling doll in a lacy yellow dress. Where do you head from here?
Nothing else interesting in this room.
Not
we'll
really.
see.
Suppose this room is relatively safe and not of too much concern to us.
Okay, well, we've got one more room to check.
Two. There's one
Sure.
on each direction here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh,
oh.
alright.
Three rooms to check.
Some of the walls are weird here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I look at the door going south, I'd like to try and open that one.
It opens and it's not locked. This room seems to be some sort of a storage room. This dusty chamber is packed with old furniture. You see chairs, coat racks, standing mirrors, and humanoid forms and the like, all draped in dusty white sheets. Near an iron stove underneath one of the sheets seems to be some sort of a trunk. It is wrapped in a tattered bedsheet, and it's stained with dry blood.
I would like to cast Divine Sense here while looking at these human bodies.
You get divine sense of coming from a direction. It is that of undeath, and as you do so, your divine sense begins to materialize in an aura, a woman's shape, shivers into focus, and manifests back into that same specter.
In which direction? Sorry.
I'm putting token down for reference. I just
Okay.
need to. Yeah, she manifests from pretty much here, back into her shape. Her wispy hair kind of falling down as if she's underwater, and her dress settling down. She doesn't say anything, but simply points toward the trunk covered in blood. Slowly lifting her finger
Is
down.
where you died, or is this where your body is?
She first shakes her head and then nods.
I would like to try and yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and try and open the trunk. Move the coverings off.
There's no lid on the trunk, just the coverings. And as you do so,
I will.
you see underneath one of the underneath these sheets is the skeleton remains of the family's nursemaid. It is wrapped in a tattered bed sheet with stained dry blood, but the skeleton remains kind of exposed in parts, and you see the long hair still clinging to the skull in places. Roll me a medicine check real quick, just passive one.
Hey.
You can tell the obvious on the ribcage and around the clavicle bones are laceration marks from a bladed object. Can't tell much else. The skeleton looks like it has been here for quite some time, but unsure of anything else really. The nursemaid, Ghost, continues to point past toward the wall to your tokens left, essentially. They took me there.
I will look towards where she's pointing and kind of try and follow what she's directing me to do.
Hold on. Yeah, no problem. I just had to preconditions. Yeah, indeed. Where she points, you can see the trace of a passage, the outline of it, carved into the wall. If you were to push it or otherwise interact with it, you would see a secret door in this wall that leads to a spiraling set of stairs that goes down.
I will say thank you, and I will go ahead and do the same thing I did with Walter and put 2 copper pieces on the skeleton's eyes and say a little prayer.
The ghost frowns, looking at what you're doing, but as soon as you complete the ritual, you hear a gasp. And a silence.
Hopefully she can rest in peace. This is
We may be
where
also
they took her.
lucky.
Yes, this is where they took her. I suppose we should check the rest of the attic first before we
Yes.
head down and find out whatever that monster that had the children so scared is.
So
A quick
I'm gonna open.
Yeah.
Yes.
A quick investigation of that room. It is another spare room that is equally empty as the last one. I'll save you time and tell you that a quick 10-minute search around yields nothing. Again, somebody has been here, stolen things, taken whatever bits of knowledge here. Anything that was not behind a secret door, anything that was not obviously hidden behind a lock or anything, has been accessible to thieves over the years, and this place has been cleaned up. You note no damage to the furniture, no nothing. The house indeed seems to have held itself together over the ages, but that's the only thing worth mentioning, really.
yeah, and I will go ahead and use the key to open up this one.
This room contains a bricked up window, flanked by two dusty, wood framed beds, sized for children. Closer to the door is a toy chest with like windmills painted on its sides and a dollhouse that's a perfect replica of the very dreary edifice in which you stand. These furnishings are draped in cobwebs. Lying in the middle of the floor are two small skeletons wearing tattered but familiar clothing. The smaller of the two cradles a stuffed doll that you also recognize.
Oh no. She locked them and started them. Can you check the bodies to see if they have like wounds? The bones? Something like that.
Rolling medicine?
Sure.
Almost like a grim relief, you note no laceration marks or anything upon these bodies. The way they are huddled together close may suggest that they were awaiting their death. It wasn't a sudden occurrence, almost as if they fell asleep and died. You collect it. As you do so, more pings of necromancy. Two of them manifest in the far corners of the room and concentrate into two ghostly shapes.
Hello again.
Rose and Thorn simply stare, looking sad upon the remains. We're sorry. It makes us do it, you know? It threatens us to bring people inside every time. It's an unending curse, this is. Nobody made it this far before, says Rose. Nobody found us.
Don't worry. It will soon end.
Will it?
Do you know what is roaming the house? It's alone. It's only one thing.
Sorry, what is with us?
What is roaming the house? What is ordering you to do this?
Bad things occurred. I don't know what my mother did in that wretched basement, but whatever it was, from the way she explains it, you would know that upon like people who do very evil action tend to desecrate the very land beneath them with that action. And the way she describes it, although she's a child, she doesn't quite understand what has occurred. It sounds very similar to that. That whatever her mother did has manifested a great evil in the house. desecrated the very ground beneath it and has born a monster as a sort of punishment.
And I suppose you two are trapped here, just like the nursemaid.
I mean,
Baby.
it wasn't bad at first. Mom would lock us up for the day to play and wait out while she went downstairs. And she would open the door once she came back. But one day, she just didn't. We waited for days. She never came back.
I'm sorry that happened to you. And I will... I don't suppose... So you've never been into the basement, have you?
They both shake their heads. Weren't allowed?
Probably for the best.
She would lock us here to protect us from the monster in the basement. You say for the best, but she looks toward the bodies on the floor. Seems that they have
Well, I suppose that's true.
I know where it is. The secret door. And she points at the dollhouse toward where you would recognize the secret passage you just unlocked, essentially. It's there.
Yes. Yes. We found that. Thanks to the nursemaid.
Are you gonna leave us? Says the little boy. Are you gonna leave us like she left us?
Well, perhaps we will be going downstairs to try and eradicate the monster that has you under its control.
Other peoples went downstairs, they never come back. Don't leave us.
Yes.
Would you not be able to do what you did for the infant for these kids?
I'm going to try, and I'm going to take out 4 pieces of copper and
Give her
put one. I'm using copper because that's the components for gentle repose, which even though I don't actually have prepared right now, I'm mimicking.
Roll me deception.
I'm doing the full rights. It's just I'm not putting magic behind it.
Yeah.
Currently.
The boy just looks at you very confused, not really sure what you're doing, but the girl, a little bit older, perhaps 13 or 14 of age, looks at you and simply smirks. You know, Mother used to be so much better at that.
Why don't we make it a game?
Game?
Yes. Count to 10,000.
The girl
And
just folds her arms like...
You know how to count that far? You have to look for us.
You
We're
counted
gonna hide.
10,000.
Okay, we'll look for you. Hide in the house. We will...
Nobody tells me what to do. You don't tell me what to do.
I thought you wanna play.
That doesn't sound like a fun game. It just sounds like math. I hate math.
Novak, do you have any idea on how to appease these kids? I'm whispering to him.
No, I'm not good with kids.
I think maybe the kids in the town were pretty impressed with your wolf. Maybe he could, I don't know, fascinate them.
Yeah, we just can. It could scare them.
Do you really think, says the girl, do you really think that we have the will for games anymore? Our corpses are before you. How about you become useful, says the Rose with a tad bit of sass akin to a 14-year-old. How about you be a little bit useful and stop meddling with our corpses with those coins? Put us to rest properly.
And how would you wish that to be done? I was trying to conduct
This house is old.
funeral practice.
Generation after generation of my uncles, my fathers, and my grandparents, all buried beneath it. When we are born, our tombs are made for us, our names engraved upon it. Bury us there. Do us this one last kindness that we never got. And make that one count to 10,000.
234.
Good.
Well, do you wish to be... This house has a tomb below it that you wish to be buried in.
Yeah, you daft. I just said that. She seems
I
rude.
suppose we can give that a try. Hopefully we don't run into the monster before we successfully bury you.
And do me a favor, will you? If you happen to die like the rest of them, don't die in my tomb. I don't want to share space.
We're not planning to die.
I'm gonna actually lean in close and whisper, I've already died. I'm just gonna whisper that I've already died to her. And kind of shh. It's not particularly fun. I'm hoping to not do it again.
She doesn't seem to be in the mood to make jokes about such grim topics, but yes. Your death was swift, hers wasn't.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
we're gonna pick the bones, right? Should we add weight to our equipment?
They're like bleach bones over time. I mean, they're maybe 5 pounds each.
5.
Don't ask me how much a child's corpse weighs. I don't know. But, yes.
It will be creepy if you know.
Bones actually weigh nothing.
Good luck.
yeah. So I will go ahead and pick up Rose's bones.
Do this kindness to
Okay.
us, and we will show you the treasures of our house. I don't think any of us remain anymore. We have no use for them. May they serve others.
I thank you. We certainly will.
So,
Bye, course boy. All right. Yep. So, I'm getting quite
here.
pooped. It is 11 o'clock over here. This was really
Yeah.
fun.
Yep.
I think this is a good place for us to call it a session, as we will descend downwards from here. Before we part ways, I hope you guys had fun. Quick question. I like getting pros and cons at the end of session. Feedback, if you guys have anything for me.
Nothing really. Like,
Cool.
I really like the options of discover things before they smack me in the head.
I'm not a big fan of immediately hostile. Like, I feel like things should be hostile toward you either if they're driven to be or if it's a consequence of your action. Otherwise.
Yeah. Yes, that was. I did like that we could actually somewhat talk down the nursemaid.
Mac, you're being a little quiet. I don't know if you're just tired.
Yeah, yeah, a bit tired, but no, all good.
As long as you're having a good time, I don't.
Oh no, yeah, don't worry about that.
If you had a long day, I understand. But let me know. Let me know if there's anything you wish to change in terms of fun. If you find this a little weird.
No, all good. I've just been up since 9 o'clock this morning.
That's why I'm going to call it a session here, and essentially.
Going on 4.
Yeah.
And we'll pick up next Friday. Everybody good for Friday? Yeah. Same time.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Next Friday, same time.
Oh, not same time. No, I lied. Next Friday, unfortunately, I'm working a 12-hour, but I can still run the session. Hold on, I've been texted too.
You mean Thursday?
Next quarter, 27th, I'm working a 12-hour till 7 p.m. So I'll be able to run session, but I'll be coming from work after 12-hour, and I won't be able to start at 6. So I will let everybody know where I'm at, and we'll start like probably 7:30. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to pick up that shift, but we'll pick up from there.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Dursthaus, good times.
Yes.
Always the creepy children.
Yes.
No, and I really like we found the mirror.
Yeah.
That's one thing I want to ask. I want to dip my toes in the water with this because Strahd tends to be really dark, and it's only gonna get darker. Everybody okay with this kind of thematic?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
okay, cool.
All good.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
It was very
my
interesting trying to figure out how to deal with it without having my normal go-to counter for that, which would be like a dispel magic or a remove curse. But at level 4,
I don't
have those.
I ran my first Curse of Strahd campaign with one homebrew rule. Well, several, but one major one, and that is you can have whatever you want, but for one reason or another, remove curse is not an available spell. It made things so much more interesting, because it's one thing to be like, I'm just gonna remove it, but it's another thing of like, no, we have to deal with this.
I think the same. Like, it may remove like combat curses or little curses, but like one that it drives plot is kind of cheap. Like, no, I don't need to go to the bounds of hell to save you.
It's
I
not
can
even
do
about driven plot. It's more about like shit's scary, and if you mess around with curses, there's consequences. And like, I'm not a big fan of like, oh well, one action and I remove the consequences. More like, well,
Yeah.
shit, now we have to like find a solution, or like find the one person who is capable of that shit. But anyways,
yeah, that makes sense because remove curse is real powerful in a setting where you've got lots of curses happening.
Curses.
Faceless Malice, fun times.
Yeah, I really like it.
So much fun to show to the hag.
Yeah, that's why I told you don't break it. Morganta wants it.
It's one of those moments where like you say something and I'm like, well, originally according to notes that doesn't happen, but like it's so cool that I'll say yes. Like, you've captured a curse in your mirror. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go.
Was it supposed to go back into the original mirror?
I mean, do you want to know?
Or
no, your tiny mirror is magical now. So.
It's like mirror has 10 AC, 12 HP, shattered the mirror to end the curse.
Oh,
it's boring. This is funner.
That's boring.
Yeah. I literally added like flavor with like the face cracking and deal damage. I just like adding on top of it.
Yeah. That definitely made it a much more interesting experience.
I love mirrors in Curse of Strahd because for one reason or another, I always hated how the explanation behind vampires don't look at the mirrors because they don't like seeing just like their soulless selves not staring back, essentially. It's cool, but like I didn't like that. I wanted mirrors to actually matter in Curse of Strahd. Like, why do intelligent undead don't own any mirrors? Because they're not always a good thing. Anyway, I won't say too much. I'm just mumbling at this point anyways. That's House Durst. I'll put that handout there in that folder. The map I'll keep up top so you guys can keep opening it if you need it for reference. We'll carry on through next week, or we can do RP. I mean, I'm not going to progress much plot unless you really want to throughout RP. Yeah. I'm pooped, so
yeah.
I'll stop recording. We're recording.